when the right time comes.
But the
Is that the same song?
Yes. The 3/7 clash.
Well, man, I go call
Yeah,
out
the
for
12. When the right time comes. So there is a time for everything to come to fruition in our lives. But the important thing is, what is your attitude when you are waiting? What is your mindset? What do? Do you drop your hands, or you continue to be faithful to what God has said and go through the processes? Because in due season, if you do not faint, you will get your reward. Those are just the things from yesterday that's been churning and churning and churning.
Making butter in your head.
Been churning.
Churning?
Churning butter. Oh boy. Don't worry about evil people who prosper, fret about their wicked schemes. Know that God.
Is that fret not thyself?
Because of
you have to say it so that Malvern can connect with what you're saying.
I was going from the New Living Version. Let's go to the
Fret not thyself because of evil doers.
Yes.
Yeah. People do evil, and you mustn't let them disturb your mindset, your peace of mind.
Yeah.
But you were looking into the word wait, and many of us interpret wait
to mean they do not
well,
a lot of people are like that, them say
to stand still in your striving towards any particular thing. But we know that it's impossible to just stay at your yard until it happens, because there are necessities of life that require you to be out and about and doing things. If you're a parent whose child needs shoes, and you're trying to get shoes, earn money, buy shoes, and you are waiting on the Lord for shoes for your kids, that's a nonsense event, really. Because, not to say that God couldn't deliver a pair of shoes.
Some of the time he does.
And meaning he just, it's like they have miracle money, shoes. You wake up and there's shoes in the cupboard.
No, not talking about that. Miracle with, I've known her persons.
Yeah.
And a lady, there's no food. But she says, Lord, I'm standing on the word that says I've never seen the righteous forsaken or begging bread. And the instruction was, put on your pot, because you're going to eat today. And she has her children. Husband is dead. And she put on her pot.
Is this the widow, or this is a Jamaican woman?
A Jamaican woman.
Okay.
Put on her.
I got a Jamaican distinction.
Jamaican widow.
Right.
And she put on her pot.
Yeah.
And then she heard a knock on the door. And somebody from our church comes and says, yesterday the Lord put you on my heart. I know how your situation is, but him say I must go buy groceries
and deliver it
to you. Yesterday she had food, but today she never had any food. So he brings the food and she says,
right in time. All right, so I'm not talking about that one where he actually, through human agency, moves. I'm talking about the one where you open the cupboard, it was empty yesterday, and you open it and food materialize. That's the one I'm talking about.
That's the one you're talking about,
right,
the widow of Zarephath?
Yes, because she had just a little bit of oil. She kept pouring. And so long as she poured. I've had that experience, and Lowell teach me about it all the time. So I'll announce and say, I have $500. I said that on Monday, and we're buying and going, and Tuesday I have $500. I never really noticed it, but because I have a way of announcing.
Oh, so you would not announce that you have $500?
Oh, yes. Every day I take it out and we spend it, and I have $500 again. And I don't quite make the I'm never watching it. I think it's only when he said to me, like, you're on that $500 or $1,000 or $5,000, whatever it is.
And it's stretch.
I have a way of saying, well, I have this, and we do things, and then, oh, well, I have this, because I like to say, I have this. Let's put it to work.
But again, it is the principle of what is in your hand. You just have to use what is in
multiplication.
your hand.
God does multiplication
And
in
it
some
does
cute
it,
ways.
I've observed some things. Until after the air.
Yes, but I wanted us to look at the word wait because there's waiting and there's waiting. You know when you stand at the immigration line and they have the word wait at the line and draw a line and
wait here.
Yeah, they say wait here.
Yeah.
Right. And the task is to stand at the line, not moving until you are given an instruction.
To move.
Right. So there's a physical element to waiting. When we speak about waiting, we are more focused on the spiritual positioning. Because back to the lady who needs shoes for the child, she could continue to do whatever, well-meaning endeavors she does. Like if she have a job, she continue with her job. But the reason why she had a cash flow crisis in the first place is because, like so many of us, after she pay bus fare and put lunch and some other necessities at the top of the list, you just never have enough left over to spend $5,000 one time or $10,000 one time on a pair of shoes. That's the reality for most Jamaicans. Persons. Yes. In order for you the shoes not on layaway, though maybe the day has come.
Yes. It's not like you can put shoes on layaway still. You know that, right? You have stores that
theoretically, I guess, but you're not like your child can wear it and leave it at the store and come back. I'm just saying, you need a pair of shoes. You need a pair of shoes, and it's not every commodity you can approach paying for it in a certain way. So she might be going along doing all the basic things that she knows to do, but the need for the shoe is so pressing that she begin to look at other ways that she could supplement her income. And this is where the waiting on the Lord begins to matter. Wait on the Lord means let things be done in a way that is pleasing to God and consistent with His will for you. If you understand what His will is for you, you must know whether you are the one who can go and, steal something from the office and sell it on the side so you can buy the shoes. And this is where it's important to understand waiting on the Lord means don't by your own imagination and will seek to bring to fruition or into existence the things which God has promised He provides for you. That's it.
Yep, because that was so very characteristic in terms of the children of Israel as they were moving into conquer. And when they had conquered, the reality is not, when you look at them relative to the nations that were around, they were a small people, a small band of people.
Little band, and I love it. That's how God works.
A little band of people. And if you go into Judges 6, you see where God says, okay, I want you to understand. You're gonna do it my way, because ultimately I don't want you to think that is because of your ingenuity or your
military prowess
or anything like that.
Your great technology
or whatever. And so, like in Judges 6 with Gideon, remember Gideon started with 30,000, and in the end, God used only 300 to win the victory for him. And God had to take him through a process to come to a point that he would recognize that it is, as you often say, it's not by might.
Not by might nor by power.
But by the Spirit of God. So the waiting is, in a sense, understanding and being comfortable and being resolute in your mind that what God has said about you in your situation is God's will for you. And God does not violate a principle in order for something to come. You don't do wrong here in order to do right here. If you understand what I'm saying?
Well, I know you carefully use the word violate because that suggests just um, a, a harmful fracturing or breaking of a law, but we know that miracles occur in that space.
Yes.
A thing is said to flow in this way if left alone. But through divine intervention, it can speed up, turn back, fall to the ground, rise to the sky, whatever. It pleases him. I'm trying to emphasize something, though, that I find that you have to listen carefully to catch it. And it is this, that in your pursuit of the things which will bring into reality God's will for you, because you must work with him. He's a God of industry. He's not a sit around and let things run their own course. God is always doing something. And we are made in his image, so we should always be doing something. We should be people of industry, not idle people waiting on others to do it and for it to come to our benefit.
Must be like the ants.
We must be industrious like the ants. So wait doesn't mean you are to do nothing for yourself. God will do it for you or send angels to do it for you. Wait means don't be the one to determine how a thing is done when you know, or you ought to know, that God has set things to flow in a particular way in your life. And so while you are pursuing the things that you can do to feed your family, improve your own situation, be a blessing to your neighbor and to everybody else that comes.
The word principles are the word using them. You're walking in the principles of what God's word
precisely.
Is.
Precisely. So you know that, for example, he says, love me with everything that is in you. Love me, love your neighbor as you love yourself, because you are a part of me. So you must be loving yourself the way you love me.
True.
And so in like manner, you should love your neighbor. If that is a foundation principle, it means when the two of you approach the one slice of bread, don't be hitting your neighbor on the head and swiping it.
Okay.
You should at least be saying, half for you, half for me. Or suppose your neighbor is standing there with two kids and it's just you alone. You say 2/3 for you, 1/3 for me. That's the principle. So similarly, as you are striving to accomplish the things which you know God has said he's given your children, so it must be his will that you have them fed, educated, kept safe. So you are looking at the children hungry, naked, insecure, and you want to do your part in bringing those things to your children. Don't look at the neighbor who has a little extra for his own kids and go thief it. Do you see?
That's what I'm saying in terms of the principles, the violation of the principles. And then it says is a God said must go do it, and people seek to justify it.
Or God never give me these children for them starve and die on my hands. So whatever I need to do, a man's got to do what a man's got to do. No, a man is to do within the will of God.
Within the
will and the way and the
principles of God's word. And when you do it that way, that's why we come back to Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all of thine heart. Lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he promises that he will direct thy path.
Good. So that being so, that's kind of like the foundation for what we will do next and how we discuss things on the national level. On the personal level, you must get this so that as you are making your own plans for self-improvement, for looking after your family, you concentrate your attention on the ways that are right within certain known principles. And if you are one of those who say, well, what is the principle that God, they're very discoverable. They're not hard to find. And above it all, he says, I'm going to write my law in your heart. So you have a conscience, and your conscience is going to speak to you until you can't cut it out. But a lot of us drown it with liquor and all kind of other
distractions.
distractions.
Yes.
So that it is usually, it is because it's speaking to us why we start to get over busy. So we don't get to hear it. But it's there. At the end of the day, you will, once you begin to consider your own ways, especially if you see patterns emerging. You see, if you must can look and say, well, the last time I did need a pair of shoes and me do this, pure trouble. You must say, then I really should not do it that way. I should be looking at some other way. Then you might say, well, the price was too high. Maybe you need to introduce the layaway approach to whomever you're dealing with so that you can make it accessible and affordable to you. There's just always a way to do it that is within the interest of both sides without your coming out in a whole heap of trouble because you chose to do it your way. You would not wait and do it in the way that is in keeping with the principles.
And I love that. It just triggers something in me in terms
Let's see
of
what it triggered in you.
The balance.
I see you balancing. How
he set up the organization of society. Even the simple principle which says that, when you are harvesting your field, don't have it so much that there's nothing left for the poor. Leave something that when people come, they can the poor. Yes, right. Yeah. And the other thing is, even with withholding of wages, and he says to us, don't hold a man wage until he must come. Because he says that is wrong, that is so evil, because you must pay the man him wage. Don't say, come back the day man has worked for his day's wages, and you say, all right, next week, even though you have the ability to pay it. And a lot of us do it. So that is why the whole thing of injustice is so wrong.
Oh, we've gone past. All right, please wait for us.
Yes.
We'll be back in a moment. Yes.
FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Water is life. That is why the government continues to invest in building out the local water infrastructure and ensure Jamaicans all across the country can access the precious commodity.
We have been turning on the pipelines, I've said, in communities all across Jamaica, and there is no more fulfilling feeling than seeing the faces of citizens when these projects are complete.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness. The work continues in the 2023-24 fiscal year, as the National Water Commission NWC will invest $7 billion to improve access to water in communities across the island. Once complete, several communities will receive water in their homes for the very first time.
21 projects with projected expenditure of about $2.5 billion will see NWC service being extended to new communities, including Essex Hall in St. Andrew, Black River to Treasure Beach Water Supply Improvement, St. Elizabeth, Hounslow Water Supply, St. Elizabeth, Dornock Water Supply, Trelawney, Jericho Well No. 1 to Yuaton Transmission Main, St. Catherine, Juno Crescent Well, Electromechanical and Pipeline Works, Clarendon, Jordan Well, No. 1 to Agualta Vale, to Highgate, St. Mary.
Mr. Holness adds that special focus is being placed on ensuring that several deep rural communities are connected to the national water infrastructure.
Magotty to Newton Water Supply, St. Elizabeth, Minard's Well to Brownstown Pipeline, St. Anne, Morant Bay to Springwell Station, St. Thomas, Mount Royal Booster Station, St. Catherine, Rock River Water Supply and Dam, Clarendon, Rosemount to Discovery Bay Water Supply, St. Anne. In Savanamar, the water supply upgrades for Westmoreland will be done. Santa Cruz bypass pipeline in St. Elizabeth. Wakefield to Bunkers Hill water supply, Trelawney. And Western Spanish Town to St. John's Road in St. Catherine.
For these projects, the scope of work will include the installation of new pipelines, storage tanks and pumps, and in some cases, pipeline replacement. Mr. Holness says going forward, every road project will include provisions for the upgrade or rehabilitation of water mains and pipelines. This, he says, will ensure that Jamaica's water infrastructure can effectively meet demands of the public.
This means that planning is joined up between NWA and NWC to ensure utility-grade water supply is available for existing and potential developments. The South Coast Highway Improvement Project is a perfect example. The people of St. Thomas will have some of the best roads in Jamaica and will also have access to reliable utility-grade water supply. Plans are being finalized for works along East Kings House Road, Lady Musgrave Road, Arthur Wint Drive, and Tom Redcombe Avenue in Kingston and St. Andrew, and Grange Lane and Brayton Road in St. Catherine for major water infrastructure upgrade in terms of coordination with the NWA.
The NWC will also be executing 45 smaller projects across the island to extend coverage to communities that are not adequately served by the utility company.
It is expected that the associated expenditure of $200 million will have an impact on the lives and well-being of close to 40,000 persons. The government is investing in improved delivery of potable water, but there is acknowledgement that we must also invest in our interaction with the public. Several strategic initiatives are being pursued by the NWC, which will have a meaningful impact on the efficiency of its operations as well as customer service satisfaction.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness. These are just some of the major projects to be carried out by the National Water Commission, NWC, to improve access to potable water across the island. Be on the lookout as the NWC might be coming to your community soon. That's it from me this week. I'm Andre Palmer. Thanks for listening.
Protecting human rights and reforming Jamaica's constitution to better serve and reflect the will of citizens is our mission. Overseeing Jamaica's transition from a constitutional monarchy to a republic is part of our mandate, and educating the public on the legislative process and government laws is critical to our operations. We are the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs, working for you. For more information, visit our brand new website, mlca.gov.jm, or follow us on social media at mlcagovjm. A message from the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs.
A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Having trouble getting parts for your Mazda? Maljam Auto Parts is your solution. Find Maljam at the new and convenient location off Upper Waltham Park Road at 9 Kingswood Avenue. Maljam Auto Parts, with over 25 years experience, providing all Mazda parts, new and used. Call 923-4389 and 461-1786. Maljam Auto Parts, serving your Mazda needs.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash, located at 2 1/4 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash, the best in the business for a cleaner wash.
Believe me, it's so easy. 1, 2, 3.
Arbitrary, bossy. How you do I take taxi start? Chano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, you know, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive. Yeah, hear me? Yeah, wait all that time I shop you and I never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040.
or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Try and call him, cause trust me.
Good afternoon.
Ah, what a relief.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice.
And the world, you want us back? We are back. The Breakthrough Deliverance Ministry, led by me, the prophet Mark Stewart, right here on Best 100 FM. This and every Thursday night from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Yes, it's War Room Thursday. Come on out and join us, each and every one, on Best 100 FM, 100.1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Come on out. Join me, the prophet, Reverend Mark Stewart, and of course, the boss shot, Apostle Marshall. Come for your healing, breakthrough, deliverance, the prayer, the miracle, the word, the testimony, and so much more. Yes, my friends, Best 100 FM, Best 100 FM, War Room Thursday, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Join us. We are going to lick it.
We see a young lady with a young man.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-5072 or 876-883-5328. That is 876-276-5072 or 876-883-5328.
And then you can see
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
yeah.
Vision Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vision Printers, your best choice in printing.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good. It's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Morning Connection. Even as we did our teaching for the morning in terms of trying to bring us to an understanding of the processes that we need to go through, that we need to understand ourselves, understanding what waiting means, and then applying principles to your own life as to how you live and work out the principle of waiting on God on a daily basis and how God intervenes and so on. Very good. But now let's go to the national. How do those principles apply to what
issues affecting the nation?
Yes.
Because we're always addressing things on the personal and on the national scale. One, to make you stronger, and two, to give you a clearer sense of where you should be taking your country, your tribe, your family, your community, because it's never a kind of a one-man event. I was thinking, Percival, why wait?
Why must wait?
Why must we wait? Because we do see, and back to your Psalm 37, we do see the wicked spreading like a big bay tree.
A big bay tree,
an evergreen tree
my Lord.
that don't seem like it will ever lose its leaves.
Yes.
And we see persons, would say then, cheating the system,
yes,
or tricking the system and pulling out of it what they want consistently. And we are there waiting on the Lord. We see them, maybe all of us are at the line where we could pick something. No one's looking. And we see many break the line and pull what they want, and
that's
they
an
move off.
irritating thing for me. Like yesterday, I went to pick up my son. Okay, so we're coming out of the school, and there's a line that's coming out, and then somebody just break the line and go and
race down to the end and
yes.
doing
So I'm saying, okay, he's turning right, which you can either go left or turn right. So I'm saying, do that.
Maybe he's going left.
Yeah, he's gonna be turning right.
Yeah,
no, he was going left.
He was going your direction.
Yes,
and you're waiting patiently.
And I'm saying to them, they do not believe. Those are things that
they matter.
Those things matter because then what happens then? He goes there. How they do it, people come in, know that people are entering in and out, so they leave a space. So he goes into the space and creates a jam that nothing could come up or go down the road. And I'm saying, I could have jumped out of my car,
I said, give him a good lecture and leave him a scripture. What scripture would you leave with him?
Wait and be patient. As you want them to do it. And I'm saying to myself,
I said that laughing, but
no.
When Percy said him could have jumped out of car, I just had to go a little further and say and do what?
Yeah, speak to them. Good
sermon.
You know what has happened
never do that again.
Well, some of the times you see a situation and people they're just doing it. And some of the time I've just parked my car and begin turn police, traffic director. Because nobody is not giving. Nobody not
deadlock.
It's deadlock. And nobody I say, hold on. All right, let this person come.
I think they are going
to them charge you for impersonating.
Remember me, it's justice of the peace.
There you go. Good one.
No, but some of the times you see the situation and nobody is doing anything, and you
come
just
hail up your sis.
Yes, I saw it. Good morning, my sister Cheryl. How are you?
Morning, sister Cheryl.
In Toronto.
Cold Toronto.
Yes, and I'm saying because those are the simple things that we can do with each other that will help the process. Learning to wait and to give.
Yeah, so the why wait, that's a great illustration of why wait. Especially like, as you said, now you pick up your kid from school and you're there with your child in the car and you are the one, you're watching a lot of things happening that, and I am one of those persons who, as a child, I watched my parents deal with situations and I had opinions, kept them to myself because they're not supposed to express them, but I formed opinions. So, for example, parents sitting patiently waiting in traffic, and your child is watching all that's going on. You're waiting patiently. Somebody come out, dive around, and beetles off with their own child. Two children have learned two different things.
Yeah.
Yours in your car, if you don't say to them, no, it might say, but daddy, look, somebody, you now have to explain about social order, waiting your turn. These are things that they learn in the play yard. Wait your turn. There has to be order in order for there to be progress. Sometimes you're fortunate enough to go down the road and see that the police has stopped the one and he's now delayed for even longer than if he had waited in line.
And I tell you
it becomes
something,
a teaching moment. Well, no, he laughed. So we're going to have to put him in rehab for that.
Oh, no.
But he laughs when he's by himself. When he's with Jonte, he says, now, see, son,
Well,
See, that's the man who.
thankfully, you and I don't have that problem in it because we know our son.
No, but no,
But
seriously.
the child who is in the car with the man who broke may be learning that, oh, you can break the rule and get ahead. And if the police stop him, hopefully he would also consider and say yes, but then you lose more time.
And there's a
dealing
consequence to your action.
Yeah, now you may end up getting a ticket and there are consequences. So why wait? We wait because when we wait on something to be done in the proper way, we get to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
When we rush and try to make our own, luck, so to speak, it becomes a short-term gain. And sometimes in the process, we learn bad habits, we teach our children bad habits, and later on in life, when the consequences and the repercussions reach us, we have difficulties coping. And then if we are not at a place where a pastor person will come out of his car and give you a good lecture and leave a scripture with you that can change and lead you to repentance, you struggle and suffer. So that's why we wait.
It's
we
very
wait so we
interesting.
can keep it, keep the
That is a
blessing.
bigger principle. I just want the Lord to come in.
No, I learned long ago that whenever you find yourself pressed like that, that is the time when you are careful. So usually when I was on the road a whole lot more, and I'm late for an appointment, right? For whatever reason.
I just relax.
That is the time when I just take it easy. You just make a call and explain, listen, I'm late, whatever the case may be, and take it easy. Because oftentimes you rush and then you find yourself in all sorts of problems. So instead of late, now you're absent.
Are you meeting an accident too?
Yes.
You end up in
So it's something we need to learn. We see it on the road, and it's not, we see it with the taxi men, but we see it with people, regular.
I see it all the time.
Let me tell you something. It's amazing what happens out there.
It's just a manifestation of what is in the heart and how people see, because our natural inclination is to be selfish. Let's not fool ourselves.
That's not my natural inclination. I separate myself from that statement. I distance
So you
myself
said
from
being selfish on that point.
No, but it's true. And some other persons you would expect better from, because you're saying, all right.
Your natural inclination is to be selfish?
No. I said our.
So who is in the hour? If you're not in the hour?
No, minute.
It's our, but you're not involved.
No, hold on.
No, we're just checking. It's our, but you're not involved.
No, all right. Stop. Our natural inclination.
I'm stabling my horse.
Is to be selfish.
No, but Juliet wanted to say who the hour is because she has already distanced herself
from
so
and you have distanced yourself, but you still say hour.
Yeah.
So we're trying to understand it.
So if it's not you, and it's not me, is it you, Lowell?
Definitely not.
So in this room, and Lloydie gone out, so we don't have to share with that question.
But what I'm saying.
So there's no one in this room whose natural inclination
including me, is to be selfish.
Okay, so then you can say hour. That's fine.
Yes, but you have
so who's
learned.
on the other side of the hour with you?
Who's on the other side of the hour?
Yeah.
People out there.
Ah, thank God.
All right.
People in here.
Yeah, and I'm
Not
saying,
people in here.
We're safe. Dodge that bullet.
So, and on the line, my sister is saying that internal regulation of self-control
internal regulation of self, otherwise called self-control. So hers is not to be selfish. Hers is to be controlled. So you're coming right out of your same yard. You're still standing alone.
That's all right.
Find some company.
But I'm saying,
I understand what you're saying. I'm just, I challenge it only because those are some things that we're taught, and they're not necessarily true. It may be reality because you look around you and you see a lot of people being very involved with self, but it might not necessarily be the truth. Well, we know it's not the truth because God made us in his image and he is not selfish.
Good, but what I'm saying though,
He is love.
Right, he is love, but but remember we
I
step
thought you were
from
gonna
there
say
now.
that. I thought you were gonna say so we love ourselves.
No, we step from there and
God
we're
is love.
restored, and we're restored.
Yeah, there's a process to be
being
to
restored.
move.
Yeah, because our thing is, we think about self all the time, but that's why Paul in the epistles, so, I want to do it, but by the old self get a hold of me, and as believers, we are challenged to now walk in the new reality of how we must be, because when we become believers, the spirit is a soul that now needs to be is the soul, the soulish realm that needs to now
Realign
guide
itself
to
with
what the
what
spirit
God desires. Yes.
Yeah, man. So it's interesting because we're talking about social control, and how important that is, because what has happened to us as we just reflect on the things we see happening, even in our society. SSL is a prime example of that. So you believe that you can entrust your resources because these people have indicated that they'll give you a good return on your investment because they invested in this and that and so on. And then only to discover, as was said yesterday, there's a bank in a bank. In terms of, I'm saying that is so unfortunate because we must be able to trust the institutions that we have set up. Do you agree with me, my sister?
That we should be able to trust them.
The institutions that we have set up in good faith, with the proper regulation and
yes, if you have set it up with proper regulation and so on, it should work. But, this morning, coming down, I remembered just reflecting out loud and saying to Lowell that yesterday when you and I spoke about bondage, and I was saying to you that bondage, though the most abhorrent form of it is slavery, forced labor without compensation, does not always originate in something unholy.
It doesn't. I will become bond servants of Christ.
Absolutely. So you just you just break the line and go right to the front with that comment. But the example I was giving him, because I was thinking about Hannah, who prayed for Samuel. She prayed that God would give her a son.
And
of the son, she says, if you give me a son, I give him to you. No razor will go near his head and he will be yours. And she did, in fact, conceive a child. And no, there's Samson, but I'm talking about Hannah. Hannah also took a vow that Samuel, she wouldn't cut his hair, and she would give him back to God. And she did go and deposit him at Eli's feet when he had been weaned.
Yeah, right.
So, and Samuel, we know, grew in the temple and was reputed as the most accurate prophet. Not one word fell to the ground. But he was bonded to the service of the temple before he was even conceived.
Yeah, because
that's a generational, that's a commitment made by one generation that went right down the line with the child. So I was saying to Lowell that there are things which our parents or forebears may have committed to, which are not bad things. We reap the reward of it, but you don't even think too much about it. The ones that really we have to be mindful of course, are the ones which bring you pain and sorrow, because it was not of your will. A commitment was made before your time, and those
he
are
grew
the
into it. He grew into it. He just because it was a good thing.
It prospered him. It's a good thing.
Yes, it prospered him. So it was important. On the other side, though, I shudder to think of it. I was telling you about it. In terms of things that our parents have done, and those of us who understand that realm, some things that parents have done to children, and they are asking themselves, what happened? why I can't seem to break through. And then for us, you doing counseling and you're tracking genomes and you're asking the questions and you say, but all right, tell me a little bit about that. And you discovered in the same way that Samuel
was committed to God.
Yes,
Yeah.
children have been committed to the Satan even before they're born.
Wow. Well, yes. I mean, I'm not surprised by it.
And you
I
have
know
to
it's
break
the
it.
reality.
And you see people.
Yeah.
Because I remember a young lady, she was talking to me, and she says at a certain time, it seems that her mom just wants her blood.
Wants to kill her or want to drink
Wants
her
to kill
blood?
her or wants to what's the other word? Her
Mutilate
blood.
her?
No,
Cut her?
Yeah, cut her just to shed her blood. And she couldn't understand it. And then we began to, and she says,
So like how it manifests? Her mother run her down with a kitchen knife?
no, her mother either tries to kill her or to use something to cut
To
her
cut
that her
her.
blood can be shed.
Yes.
Because at that point in time,
Ah.
blood
Something needs to be fed.
Yes, something needs to be fed. And I said,
Mhm.
okay, we got to deal with that. Because of what her mom did when she was a child. And the demonic realm believes that they have authority.
Yes, to demand.
Yes.
Pay.
Yeah, to pay.
Yeah, I heard our pastor tell us that no demon will leave if you still owe something.
Yes.
Yeah, no matter how much deliverance. Yeah.
Having trouble getting parts for your Mazda? Maljam Auto Parts is your solution. Find Maljam at the new and convenient location off Upper Walton Park Road at 9 Kingsford Avenue. Maljam Auto Parts, with over 25 years experience, providing all Mazda parts, new and used. Call 923-4389 and 461-1786. Maljam Auto Parts, serving your Mazda needs.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash, located at 2 1/4 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash, the best in the business for a cleaner wash.
Believe me, it's so easy. 1, 2, 3.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start?
Chano, I want to tell you, say, at 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Try to call him because trust me.
What a relief.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100.
It's good. It's better, but nothing beats.
Yeah, so Welcome back to the morning connection. I know some of the times we speak, but those of us who
Some of the times we do what? We drift around.
No, some of the times
I want to dissociate myself. I want to disassociate myself from
So
that
when you're not
statement.
speaking, what do you do, Percy?
I'm just thinking.
No, I think in one so we talk in circles and people can't quite make the connection.
Some of the times we're
That's what you
speaking on
wanna say.
matters. No, we speak on some matter and people say, why are they there? Because of your experience in the trenches and you see what is happening in people's life. And so the importance of people need to come into a full understanding of some spiritual realities in their life. Because in a lot of instances, it is not just what you are seeing. There is a greater spiritual reality. So people need to know. And so even as you spoke yesterday about bondage and the different patterns that people are seeing. Some of the times, if you've been trying for a very long time and you just can't seem to get the breakthrough, there's always a spiritual dimension, but in even greater way, there's something spiritual that you have to break. Some of the times it's a simple physical thing, but most times there's a spiritual reality that you just have to deal with. And even as we speak about national issues now in terms of the concept that we have raised in terms of people understanding how important it is to wait and to understand the principle of waiting and what it means. I was just saying, even with the simple example of driving and seeing the mayhem on the road and where we are at, and just that we need to go back there, because if we do not go back there, understanding the importance of waiting, that there is a natural order of things. This get rich quick mentality that has so become so pervasive in our country from top to bottom. It is something that is driving the corruption in a serious way. What do you think?
No, I'm with you on it. And I kind of love where we're taking it now, because I think the foundation is set for the discussions that must follow and some of the things that we need to focus on. So I've made a note here. Of course, the command this morning is wait on the Lord. And it is of both personal and national significance. Personal because you must in your own affairs know that there is a right way to do things, and that right way is really tied up in the principles of how God has set for man to prosper in this realm. There is a right way. And then, so in your own life, you must govern your affairs with a constant recognition that there is a right way to do it, and that way is going to bring you in closer contact with your Creator. So that's one. On a national level now, of course, you need to have a large enough majority of citizens being convinced that there is a right way.
Tipping point.
So when you have that critical mass under your belt, it will influence the direction that things flow on the national stage, because it means, one, we're going to choose people who reflect those qualities and principles. Two, the persons who are in leadership positions and in control of our, arrangements at the national level will be responsive to our demand that they observe these protocols and they move in a certain way. So like right now, there are some industries or some big issues that are front of the brain. One, of course, when it comes to the economy and the regulation of financial institutions and how economic activities are managed, big deal, because it's through that gate that you make a livelihood, look after your children, and can enjoy the benefits of nationhood.
Correct.
So everything that happens in that area is of material importance. Second, we continue to have identity issues. A nation in bondage must work out its freedom. Every man have to work out them salvation. But a nation needs to work out its own salvation, its freedom, its release from bondage. We depend heavily on our prime ministers, our leaders, political leaders. We depend heavily on our political leaders to pick a path and to have a vision that will carry us forward. Right now, a review of the Constitution is amongst the most important things to do. How the government set the platform for that debate is a big deal. And we're seeing already that I saw it from the time Miss Malahoo Fort was put in charge of things. I knew that it would not get better unless we struggle and push the government to take better care of this body of work. And they are continuing, and there are some missteps. But what is really heartening to me is to see people immediately rise up and push back. And if you track the issues in the paper, some of what is making the news, you'll see a certain thing manifesting. For example, today there is Dr. Paul Ashley is someone that I've always had time for from the earliest of days. He speaks fearlessly on most issues, and he's probably in some level of retirement now, but I see him coming out today to say that he expects Nigel Clark to backtrack on the Massamark remark. The Massamark remark. He's saying that he expects Nigel Clark to do the right political thing of pulling back that comment, which could bring some racial heat into the yes.
But look, when was that said?
The Massamark?
Yes.
When on the weekend.
Right.
So there's been time, but you see how and what Paul is saying, Dr. Ashley he's saying it in the absolute right way. He says he expects Brownberg to withdraw her comment officially, the shut your mouth one, which speaks to just disorder and craziness in the house. And he also expects Nigel Clark to say it. Now he says, I expect Clark to say that was not what he had intended. I cannot speak to the sincerity of the action, but superficially, they will go through the parliamentary ritual. Well,
it's interesting.
So they're going to go through
It's interesting that time has passed, and the only thing I am aware of is people coming against Brownberg about her behavior.
Yeah, because the media was
few persons come against what was said by
we were the only person who picked up. Yes.
Yeah, but see, Paul Ashley is other persons have come out and said one or two things, but we were on it. I know we were on it from the start. Now the composition of the committee that the government has put together has also drawn a lot of attention, and some persons are saying the right thing about it. What's interesting, so there's one article that looks at Rocky Mead's involvement, and head of the JFJ, Michael Jackson, has said something which is of great interest. She certainly is speaking in the right tone and in the right vein. She said, look at who he is. He's the man who oversaw the Tivoli Gardens incursion.
We know that.
70 persons dead, over 4,000 persons displaced or otherwise affected by it. Despite a commission of inquiry, no report that really speaks definitively to no report has been published. Let's leave it at that. She says little accountability was provided despite the commission's report. While one is not questioning Ambassador Mead's qualifications, we do question whether this decision is wise, especially when there's work to be done in later phases around the Charter of Fundamental Human Rights and Freedom. She is putting on the table whether
he can be co-chair.
Rocky Mead, with his track record, can rightly be co-chair of a process which at the heart of your constitution is the protection that it offers to citizens, the fundamental rights and freedoms. He has been one of the stars in the use of states of emergency as some method of curtailing, addressing crime and violence? Is he the man to be the co-chair of a committee whose purpose is to look at the reform of the constitutional arrangements? I don't think he is. I think the government got it completely wrong
Of course.
with this committee.
Of
and
course,
not just
the entire
them.
committee is completely wrong.
Not just them, but the opposition.
Yeah.
Because the opposition used the spaces they had on the committee to appoint more of the same as government did. Really now,
you have to say, what's up? What's going
they're
down?
placing on civil society a greater burden or a greater responsibility to carry the weight of ensuring that the people are adequately represented in whatever that committee does. But as I was reading, I was reflecting on it and reading, and I understood right away but these things are temporary.
Explain.
The government will change and this committee will be refashioned. That's one meaning of it. Two, the people will rise up and this committee will be irrelevant.
Because the people are rising up and
because
speaking.
the people will rise up and speak.
So that looks like the surest way of getting nothing done.
The committee?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because if you have a committee that cannot work to
that don't
to accomplish
the
whatever
people.
it was put in place to do, then it is pointless.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, and as you say that, I remember when this new ministry was formed, and some of our callers even said straight off the bat, what is that going to really do anyway? What is the purpose of this Ministry of Constitutional Review? What is it?
Listen, personally, I think a lot of these things are put in place just to reward people. It has nothing to do with any functionality, if you ask me.
Because it's very cosmetic. It's very cosmetic. Because what has happened, is that they move some things under Ministry of Justice and just create a new
Just split one ministry.
Yeah. So they did. When you look at what
and what you're actually done, you have increased your costs.
Yeah.
Because now you have to maintain two ministries.
Yeah, and it
costs money to do that and resources.
And then to move Malahoo for give her something to do because she was the Attorney General. Remember that?
I want to read something and then I want you guys to tell me who you think is saying this. I don't want you to look who's saying it. Okay. The Constitution of Jamaica right now is not a homegrown constitution. Jamaica officially has a status of constitutional monarchy, which means that the head of state is the monarch, the King of England. And so it requires a very technical, legal, and involved process to transform Jamaica from a constitutional monarchy to a constitutional republic. And so the expertise on the committee will allow the country to do that and to do it right. Who do you think
that
is
sounds
speaking?
like the minister?
Not the minister.
No?
The guy from overseas.
Oh, it's him.
Who is that? The guy
The
from
guy you're looking at it over there.
Which guy from overseas is that?
The Professor Richard Albert, who is the
never get
lawyer
that.
from overseas teaching at the University of Texas at Austin, the United States. He's a trained scholar of world constitutions, constitutional reform, and constitutional replacement.
You see me? I could have. Yeah, it don't sound like somebody who's.
That's somebody speaking down to us about things we already know. Like Jamaica is we're not going to transform Jamaica with a piece of paper.
Thank you very much. Because that's exactly where my headspace went when I was listening to all of that. At the end of the day, you get a wonderful, nice, brand new, shiny constitution.
Involved process.
What about the people who are supposed to make it
Transform
work?
Jamaica from a constitutional monarchy to a constitutional republic. And so the expertise of the committee will be there justifying their own existence. And I don't think that, I have many thoughts on the process, but
I think there should be greater
we have to lead the
grassroots
process.
involvement.
Of course, we have to lead
But
it.
of course, there must
have
be.
to.
It's the people. Where are the people in this?
We have to.
But you remember, but we've elected them to lead us.
We who?
And we can change that.
You love talk
And
about
that's why-
me. No, me can't right back to it again. Don't get me involved. You love to talk about me. No,
Did you
you
elect
don't
them?
it.
You become a vote?
Yeah,
Who vote?
one of
Who
them.
you vote for? All right. And we're not getting into that. But
But you said we elected
you come
them.
off of the weasel.
I don't have a problem telling you I did not elect one of them.
But let me say this.
Yeah.
Whether you vote or you do not vote.
No, I voted.
No. I voted.
Yes, that's
This
what
is
I'm
not about whether you vote.
No, but what I'm saying, at the end of the day, they are our government.
No, that's a different statement. But when you say, "But we elect them," no.
All right.
Mm-mm.
At the end
We're
of
not
the
with you
day,
on that one. We are not with you on that one.
You know, who's the we? Must be you and King Charles.
And we, but you know, so and everybody is there having a wonderful laugh.
But let me share with you what they're doing. They're doing it in phases. Phase 1 of the reform process is to focus on the repatriation of the Constitution. So they're going to send it back to England. Abolition of the constitutional monarchy along with the king. Establishment of republican status and all matter within the deeply entrenched provisions of the Constitution for which a referendum is required to amend. I don't know what that means.
No, but that's not
Because phase 1 can't include the referendum.
No, phase 1, like what did Barbados do to remove the
They took an executive decision at the parliamentary level.
They make it very simple.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So why would
Because the people had already expressed their agreement.
Right, that's what I'm
because
saying.
a lot of people don't want to give up them cushy position, which see them.
They want to give up them KC and the righteous is going to
from the
overcome
association.
KC. Hear that?
Yeah.
Righteous is going to overcome KC.
That's who, Calabar?
The righteous going to overcome KC.
Calabar will overcome KC.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So phase 1 of the reform process is to focus on repatriation of the Constitution, abolition of the constitutional monarchy, establishment of republican status, and then this catch-all is the part that's puzzling to me, and all matters within the deeply entrenched provisions of the Constitution for which a referendum is required to amend. Phase 2 is to look at the wording and provisions of the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms set out in Chapter 3 and the ordinarily entrenched provisions of the Constitution for which amendments are desired and required. So that's phase 2. Phase 2 will look at fundamental rights and freedoms. Phase 3 is to focus on fully assessing the country's legal and constitutional infrastructure to facilitate putting together a new constitution. What the? Okay. The first phase.
Hello. It's saying a whole lot, but not saying anything at all. I'm listening to it and I'm saying to myself, come on.
It has a cart before the horse quality to it that I'm seeing. And I could have used a different word than horse. But it has it's a little confusing what they're seeking to do. You're not seeing.
Don't you think that's the whole aim?
To confuse?
Yes.
No.
I don't know that it is to confuse.
No. My cynicism don't go that far.
Yeah.
They know that it's necessary, and they know it's necessary because the people desire it and have been very vocal on it. They know it has to be done because even if you think of power brokers also want to have greater control. So it's beneficial both to
everybody.
It's beneficial to everybody.
Here's my taking of this whole constitutional thing. A lot of work was done previously. Remember that work that was done from Mr. Patterson was there in terms of a constitutional reform committee, and they agreed we're getting rid of the monarchy and so on. All right? Remember that was agreed and undone. If those persons were in parliament and we believe that they represent us, all you need to do is to say, this is what we're doing. Yes or no. You don't have to referendum because the sentiment is there.
It's there, right.
Just get rid of the monarchy. Okay, now. What kind of a republic is it that we want? Is it the one like Trinidad has? or is it a different republic?
Yeah, let me tell you.
And do that, and then the other things will happen, because there are some things that are there. Like when they went through and did the fundamental rights and thing and added it to the Constitution. Those things, it is a process. About 10 years that did that,
It took a long while, and it's not even at its ideal now. But some things, the thing, what has me somewhat
He's an engineer,
reflecting.
you're the lawyer.
Yeah, but what has me reflecting at this point is that what we're seeking to do is we're seeking to do something that's very dynamic, but we're trying to fix it. We're trying to make it static. And that's an impossibility, because those laws would be in conflict. A dynamic thing cannot be made static. It's constantly moving and changing. And it's why maybe even like places like the UK, England don't have a constitution. If a constitution is truly going to reflect the will of the people, then the first process is about extracting what is the will of the people, and that happens through engagement. So there are some big things on which we know persons are fairly well set in their mind. That's easy, and that's the point you're making. Address the big things, put that away. Then engage in a process now that is gonna extract through the engagement and consultation and teaching
people that they understand. Because if you do grassroots consultations and find out what it is that the majority of the Jamaican people want, you can pick up the main headed.
Oh yeah.
And then you fill it in.
Yeah.
And then you go to the table with that.
Right.
You do what is called a mass education campaign. I said, this is what it is. Are we agreed on that? Then you give them the work to do. Let them draft it in language that is legal enough but easy for any Jamaican who can go on any website, pick up the Constitution and say, this is what it says. And then, as you have said, have a constitutional court that sits all of the time so they can resolve all of the issues.
Of course, that I've borrowed heavily from the perfect template. A bunch of people walking out of slavery, milling around in the desert with their animals and their families, needing to figure out how do we shape things. And they got a template. So there's no need to, if it ain't broken, don't fix it.
Right.
There's no need to get into phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, where phase 1 is seeking to do everything that phase 3 is about, but because phase 1 sound like it's touching in what you're doing in phase 3. Then phase 2 is just sitting there in the middle, fundamental rights and freedoms.
I wonder how long those phases are scheduled to last. Yeah.
Well, we have a consultant from Canada, so I guess he's the one who has written up something. It is not. I think that people should be better represented in.
And you have
anyway.
the guidance.
I don't want to.
That guy can work, bring him in and get rid of a lot of the people, because he's done it before in other countries. Okay,
yes,
so we are dependent on your expertise.
But he says Jamaica is gonna. It would be the most public one that he has done. He did something in Chile. I'd love to know what they say about the work he did in Chile.
Okay, all right. We can research that and thing, but
yes,
I see Mr. Tomlinson has to shift gears a little bit.
Yes, no, you're not shifting gears. You're just
moving
into the next. Right,
okay.
that's
Tomlinson,
exactly where we should go.
Ken Tomlinson.
FSC moves to appoint Tomlinson as SSL trustee.
A sole trustee.
Well, remember he's the head of an agency, so yes, he can be. FSC seeking the Supreme Court's permission to appoint Head of Business Recovery Services Limited Kenneth Tomlinson as trustee for the fraud hit investment firm Stocks and Securities Limited. The FSC, which regulates the securities industry, named Tomlinson the temporary manager on January 17th, 7 days after learning of the alleged multi-billion-dollar fraud at the 50-year-old company. FSC has declared that SSL is insolvent as it does not have enough money to pay its debts.
Because they have 750 million that's due to connected parties. The bank in the bank. Oh, that can operate, minute. You have done those things. Oh, that operate a bank in a bank.
A bank within, or many banks within a bank.
Oh, that work out. Explain to me,
let's hope the others who are doing it.
You need to understand, that there are a number of other institutions like that. The day you stop it, that's the day it dies.
Yeah. Or the day somebody squeals. Like
that's the day it dies.
Yeah.
So you're saying, so within the institutions that that are set up and regulated under the different regulations. So you are saying I might say Percy's Bank, and that is what is out there, right? From using me. But in Percy's Bank, there's Minute Bank and Loyal Bank, but on the face of it is Percy's Bank. That's what you're saying?
That sounds like what you just said.
If I use that as an example. No, but when you say a bank in a bank, so you have Percy's Bank, which is what is traded and so on. And then within the Percy Bank, and I'm careful not to call any name. So in Percy's Bank.
But we're talking about fraud, so let's not make it sound like
it's not legitimized.
It's not an organizational structure that is within the range of options open to financial institutions.
Okay.
We're talking about fraud. And the comment about bank within a bank was that the lady who said she was running a particular scheme within SSL, what she described was she had a bank that she was running. It had its own accounts, its own thing, and she presented statements, and it was all fictitious.
Okay.
That's the bank within the bank.
Okay, now I'm understanding.
Yeah, we're not.
Right.
But there is a certain level where we're saying now that in businesses that are being run, there's a certain level at which they operate on two different platforms.
Okay.
And you might have a decision-making structure within the bank that really determines what's going on in the bank that faces the customer and faces the regulator. And that is very likely in all of these groups.
Okay.
These big corporations that operate as groups and have the money over one side in their banking affiliate, and they have an insurance side, and they have
but isn't that what in terms of the financial crisis that we face with the what happened with the meltdown and the government had to go in, but then they put in clear regulations that says you must
right now in Jamaica you have to be in separate buildings.
People make regulations working on my brother. And you need to understand, you have the company, you have the operational side of the company. You have also the other side, which is the board that gives direction and also helps to monitor. And then you have the regulator that stands over all of that. Yeah?
Right.
And so one has to make sure that everything is working in tandem.
And that there's clear separation.
Yeah, so if you have a board that is really just a board on paper, they're not really doing anything much, then operations will run amok.
Okay, all right. But I figured everything would have come up because I sit on boards and everything.
There you go. So you see it?
You look at
you sit on the board. You need to do some work.
Yeah, man. Come up to the intercap break. Come like that. That's where we'll take it a break.
You're simply the best. All stressed. You're simply the best.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Hello, I'm Emily Thomas with the BBC News. A major fire at a migrant facility in northern Mexico on the United States border has killed 39 people. Mexico's Attorney General's office has launched an inquiry. David Bamford has the details.
The fire began on Monday night at the National Institute of Migration, which is next to the Stanton International Bridge that links the Mexican city to El Paso in Texas. Video online showed victims lying on the ground after being pulled out of the building. Many were thought to be migrants arrested in the city the day before and detained in locked rooms. Some reports suggest migrants had set fire to mattresses as a protest.
Police in the US say they're examining a manifesto left by a heavily armed assailant who shot dead 6 people, including 3 children, at a primary school in Nashville on Monday. The shooter has been identified as 28-year-old Audrey Hale, a former pupil at the private school, who police say had recently begun using male pronouns. Holly McCall, the editor-in-chief of the Tennessee Lookout, says the shootings are unlikely to change US gun laws.
America has got a problem with guns. As much as we can talk about security, if somebody wants to shoot their way into their building, as this woman did, it's going to happen. I see very little change coming. In Tennessee, once again, we have lawmakers who say they offer their thoughts and prayers, but we have a number of bills that are getting ready to be passed in our legislature. There's one to drop the legal age to openly carry a weapon from 21 to 18. That means an 18-year-old can carry an AR-15 down the street. There's just no will to change this.
Large crowds are gathering in Paris and other French cities for a 10th day of strikes and protests against the government's pension reforms. A record number of police are being deployed in the hope of preventing a repeat of violence at the end of demonstrations last Thursday. Mathilde Paneleux of the largest trade union confederation in France, the CFDT, says they're worried such clashes could obscure their case.
We are always condemning all forms of violence. Millions of demonstrators who have been marching peacefully for 2.5 months now, and they are demanding the withdrawal of the pension reform. So there are 2 concerns, both on violence and also the fact that it could overshadow our demands. We are very concerned that this crisis will benefit to the far right in the end, and the violence we have seen these past few days is fueling this process.
Portuguese police say at least 2 people have been killed in a knife attack at a Muslim Ismaili centre in the capital, Lisbon. Reports say an Afghan man suspected of carrying out the attack was shot in the leg by police and detained. Details of that are still coming in. You're listening to the latest world news from the BBC with me, Emily Thomas. Russia has test-fired 2 cruise missiles during a military drill in the Sea of Japan in what appears to be a show of force directed at the government in Tokyo. Japan has backed Ukraine in its fight against Russian aggression, with the Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida visiting Kiev last week. Moscow regularly holds military exercises off its eastern coastline, but the Japanese Foreign Minister Yoshimasa Hayashi said this activity has increased.
As Russia's invasion of Ukraine continues, Russian forces are also becoming more active in the Far East, including near Japan. The Japanese government will continue to monitor these movements of the Russian military.
A Danish-owned ship has been hijacked by pirates in the Gulf of Guinea off the coast of the Republic of Congo. The shipping company said the 16 crew members had sought refuge in a safe room on board the Monjassa Reformer. Armed men began attacking the Liberian-flagged oil and chemical tanker on Saturday. Police in Belgium have detained 8 people in raids across the country as part of an investigation into an alleged terrorist plot. No details have been given. One source said those detained were radicalised young people. Drinking water supplies are being cut off at night in cities across Tunisia in a bid to maintain reserves in the country. A severe drought is being blamed for the shortage, along with poor water management and faulty infrastructure. In some areas, as much as 50% of water is being lost before reaching the tap. One of the world's biggest gambling companies, William Hill, has been ordered to pay UK regulators almost $25 million for not protecting customers. It's the largest settlement that Britain's Gambling Commission has ever imposed. Investigators found William Hill guilty of major social responsibility failures, allowing new account holders to spend thousands of dollars, sometimes in minutes. BBC News.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is already pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program, The Voice of Hope. as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the Lord.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Having trouble getting parts for your Mazda? Maljam Auto Parts is your solution. Find Maljam at the new and convenient location off Upper Autumn Park Road at 9 Kingswood Avenue. Maljam Auto Parts, with over 25 years experience, providing all Mazda parts, new and used. Call 923-4389 and 461-1786. Maljam Auto Parts, serving your Mazda needs.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash, located at 2 1/4 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash, the best in the business for a cleaner wash.
Believe me, it's so easy. 1, 2, 3.
Half a tree, 100, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man. Respect my boss.
Try calling him, cause trust me.
Ah, what a relief.
Alright, Best 100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up Show, Lascelles Butch Chen, on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing work in our maturing years. Compellingly defined, educate and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
Ready for the war.
And the world, you want us back? We are back. The Deliverance Ministry, led by me, the prophet Mark Stewart, right here on Best 100 FM. This and every Thursday night from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Yes, it's War Room Thursday. Come on out and join us, each and every one, on Best 100 FM, 100.1, 357 and 9. Come on out. Join me, the prophet, Reverend Mark Stewart, and of course, the boss shot, Apostle Marshall. Come for your healing, breakthrough, deliverance, the prayer, the miracle, the word, the testimony, and so much more. Yes, my friends, Best 100 FM, Best 100 FM, War Room Thursday, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Join us. We are going to lick
Oh, yeah. Ready for the war, ready for the war.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100.
It's good. It's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Morning Connection. Just before we open the lines, and the lines are 876-619-1508 and 876-279-8473. I think that's our WhatsApp line. I just want to comment on an announcement that the Prime Minister made yesterday in terms of the 6 weeks camp that he is doing for unattached youths in the communities. He says who are on the corners, not doing anything, hope that it will bring about some change. But just to say, this is not a new concept. It started as far back as 2016-17, when it was the unattached youth program was happening in a lot of the constituencies, and they've had some good success with it. But I do believe, and I was just reflecting on the Patterson report, that trying to do remedial work after people have done primary or high school is not the real answer. We need to put a lot of our resources at the early childhood where our children are properly stimulated and supported. And the evidence is worldwide. If you do it well there, then a lot of the things that you see happening later on are minimized and don't even happen. So let us truly look at the Patterson report and do a realigning of what our budget is in regards to fixing the problem for the long-term gain. So the lines are now open for you to respond to what we have been just sharing this morning, the whole thing of waiting, and what are the implications for that. We have looked again at the SSL issue, and we're looking at this whole constitutional reform committee and what it will mean for us as Jamaicans. Good morning. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the Morning Connection. How are you this morning?
I'm not too bad. I can speak to Miss Minute, please.
Good morning, my dear. How are you?
Not too bad, Miss Minute. And good morning to each and every one, please.
Let's go ahead.
I'm asking Miss Minute.
Yes.
If she did hear the Prime Minister yesterday.
I did not hear the Prime Minister yesterday. What did he speak on?
The Prime Minister was talking and a little girl come up and say, "We tired of you. Bro God, we tired of you."
Are you serious?
God, we tired of you. The mother said to him, say, "Who are you speaking to?" The little girl said, "Bro God, we tired of you, bro God. We tired of you." And bro God start crying.
Where did that happen?
Yesterday.
Where?
Where did that happen?
Yes. I see it on Facebook.
You saw. Also, where was he speaking?
Okay, man.
I don't.
Okay, well, you have to watch those things in a moment on social media because
well, we don't know if it's true, because they are putting together some very creative videos these days. I don't know of the Prime Minister speaking in any public setting where such a thing could have happened.
Yes.
But, what do you think about it? You think such a thing could have really happened?
Yes. What's going on in the world now?
Yes. Meaning you really believe that even children are so frustrated that they would make such an utterance to the Prime Minister?
True, because the children in Israel out of order now.
That is true. They are bold. They will step out of line and say what is. Yes, and I tell you, there are some things I see. Persons are recording their children saying some really adult things, and you see it on social media and Instagram and so on. But tell me, you think does such a set? You understand why a child would say that? How do you feel about your prime minister right now?
I'm not feeling good about him.
What could he do, you think, to make things better?
He can't do plenty better way, man.
Oh, interesting.
He come here. Listen, you see in our district there.
Yes.
Our district. That even liquor water through the rain fall now, we have liquor water.
What district is that? Remind us.
Trial.
Trial. The other trial, not the trial with the resort villas and
Yeah, that's in Saint Catherine.
No,
trial in Saint Elizabeth.
Saint Elizabeth.
Okay.
Yes. Well, the truth of the matter is, I believe many Jamaicans are speaking out how they feel about what's happening in the country and the things they would like to see change. What's the number one thing for you now? I mean, I remember you work as a housekeeper, I think.
Yes.
Right. So they've moved up minimum wage. Is that something that has made a difference for you? It's been increased.
How much minimum wage now?
It's now
13,000. It's 9,000. It's gonna go up to June. No, June 1. It's June 1. It's going up to 13.
It's going up to $13,000. $13,000 a week.
Well, then can still make it go higher. So what's going on?
Yes, I think that is a consensus. Yeah.
People don't have no money. They have one gym in our district where I must souvenir because not even liquor water they not put in a heat. In our district, them do plenty of farming and the living in our district.
Yes.
And we have to buy water.
So you still need water.
We don't have a drop of water. A mole, the last bag of mole we buy at 13,000 or 12 something.
Much. Okay.
Yeah, because for farming, yes.
There's something can't work. There's something bad.
So farming has become very expensive. And then at the end, when they sell your crop, you know, see back your money.
You don't see back where you spend.
Yeah, no, I don't know if you're having that problem, but onion farmers in St. Thomas were protesting yesterday that there's no market.
We imported onions.
We have imported onions and no market for the local crop.
And they import onion.
And we import, yes, yeah.
Something of foolishness.
And those are things that the political leaders, the government can determine what comes in and what markets are kept free for local supplies.
True. Because we farm scallion, tomato, melon.
Some of my favorite things.
We farm.
Yes. So you're saying at the end then
the price for you getting make no sense.
Yeah. So
you have to buy water.
So this little girl, whether she is a real little girl or somebody made it up and put it on Facebook, she wasn't speaking far from the truth.
No. She never did far from the truth.
I hope the Prime Minister is listening and taking note of what's coming out of the people, because I really think that he can change. Yeah. He can change things.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I think he can.
So the Prime Minister start crying and say he can't do no better way, madam.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm going to see if I find it, but I suspect that somebody put that together just to make a point. Yes, that is happening. All right, my sister, thank you for sharing with us this morning. And I really hope somebody is listening and hear the cry of the people.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my dearie.
Good morning. And welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Morning, Israel. How are you doing?
Yes, please. As it is, I mentioned now, little girl. The little girl and the Prime Minister.
Yeah, the Facebook.
I don't know about Blue God. Right?
Yeah.
These are more of a team as a false God if I should classify him as put in the category of any God.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
All right. But you know, say according to the Blue Dot rule, the ladies are removing from the Labour Party and the Prime Minister in Jove, you know. That was one of the main features of the Blue Dot thing there, when the slippage of the Labour Party under the leadership of Andrew Holness. The ladies are moving in Jove. More unlike the men.
And the ladies, they're moving, everything moving.
Yes, and to the point that the panelists at Mr. Clifford's courtyard thing there last Monday said that the ladies are falling out of love with Mr. Holness.
And that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yes, and interestingly, you know, early last year down in Canada, Mrs. Holness was there at some divisional conference. So she was trying to promote in either the physical or sexual prowess of her husband, the most Prime Minister. And she said, oh, he has this stamina and this tea and he can go the distance.
Are you
so
serious?
Some people in the crowd misinterpret her and saying, she said, Andrew Wallace is wicked in bed and can't turn pan his long. You remember that tape?
I know that lyric from a song, yes.
No, we're not talking about the song now.
Yeah, but listen now.
Some in the audience was saying that, you know, street song.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, make a move on.
Yes, because if I can at least dignify it, you're saying that.
Yeah, but somebody will call and back up my claim. Mr. Keith Duncan, please. Mr. Keith Duncan, Mrs. Lawrence and Pastor.
Yes.
I think he's a bit over optimistic, you know, in terms of his economic forecast. In my opinion, he doesn't sound like a good economic surveyor. Kai is saying that based on what going on between December 2022, the people who can start feeling the effect of the positive thing what's going on.
I did.
We're listening.
You want to come in, please?
Yes, I wanted to say I did notice in the report that carried the clip of what he was saying had him really basing his opinion on the forecasts coming out of the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of agree with you that his own expertise, whatever it is, was not evident in what he was saying.
Yeah, and cancelled. He could be bigging up the Labour Party when it's not necessary, you know, when the reality is not here to prove it. So you have to be a little bit more cautious because 7 consecutive quarter growth at under 2%. That's not gonna affect the middleman positively in any way. The people down below crossroad in any way here.
Yeah.
Third thing down, please, Mr. Warmington and his recommendation that the Integrity Commission should be stripped of its prosecutorial powers. Because it might give me problems still to talk, you know.
But they
shouldn't have the right to prosecute anybody, in other words.
But it is let me tell you, it's not an argument that really have any great merit to it, because we are still under a scheme of arrangement where the DPP is the only one that carries the right to prosecute. Whatever it is that gets done in the Integrity Commission still goes to the DPP. Mr. Warmington's his submission or his objection, it's he really is calling for them to dismantle the Integrity Commission, because all the Integrity Commission does at the moment is investigate, express an opinion, and pass it on
to DPP.
So he's saying,
we know that.
Yeah, so if he says they should be stripped of whatever power they have now, he's really saying dismantle them because they don't have no power now. We all think they should have more.
I think you said something earlier. I think account to DPP lowering.
Yes.
As a result of some landmark ruling by the Privy Council in some small island. it has paved the way for being people entity like the FID in the Ministry of Finance and MOCA to carry out to prosecute people without they are furnished with any report and she make any ruling. If I'm not mistaken,
But you see, she has always, there are two things happening, caller. One is that there is a remit given to the Integrity Commission, which operates is more in the realm of administrative law. They won't send people to prison or do what the DPP, what the criminal prosecutors do, but they can carry out I guess you can call it prosecution, because prosecution is really bringing someone before a tribunal in a particular kind of process. There's a raft of things they can do which they don't currently do.
They don't follow it.
They don't. No, they don't exercise that power. And she's always made the point, as far as I know, that there are some things they can do which they need to do and stop trying to send everything to the DPP for a criminal prosecution, and then it gets stalled because the level of proof and evidence and so on that's required for criminal prosecution, many times it's not there for these administrative breaches. But I will check out what she's saying if there's been some recent development coming out of the Privy Council.
Yeah, yes, please. You do it. And the last thing on Warmington now. I noticed that he's singled out Mr. Greg Christie.
That's a tactic.
Yeah, but I can't tell you, Mr. Christie has brought the whole integrity thing into dispute. But that reminds me of the part trying to curse the clean.
Well, that's unfair to Mr. Christie.
Pardon me?
What you just said there is unfair to Mr. Christie.
No, not Mr. Christie. Mr. Warmington brought a lot of things into dispute, right?
I know, but
that's why he was doing the part trying to curse the kettle.
Yeah, but by saying that Mr. Christie would be the kettle.
Yeah,
Mr. Christie is not the kettle.
He has not brought anything to this.
Anyway, that was Warmington I am targeting.
Yes,
because
right.
Warmington, no disrespect to him still. Somebody say Warmington, you can't judge people by Warmington standard.
That is true. I believe I said that yesterday.
Yeah, and last thing though in Westmoreland, somebody shut up a window down there last Saturday night.
Yes.
And kill one of the bridal party member.
Yes.
I injured two.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, unfortunate.
Very much so. And while the police are saying that they have no motive for the killing, the tourism resort person, I think Mr. Wallace, has said that it's a domestic matter that spilled over. It has every appearance of that. But
even then, it's not acceptable.
It's not acceptable. He was saying that the resort town is safe and that this incident at the wedding is really a domestic matter that spilled over. The police have not said the RNA.
When I'm married down, I'm to protect the guests and everybody else.
But while the man was saying that, the real issue is that the prevalence of gun crimes. Because sure, you can be vexed that something happening and you might show up at the wedding and yell insults, or there are things that people do to show their displeasure. But to come with a gun, that's not. That is because the prevalence and availability of guns.
Pastor was talking about the at-risk youth, this man are vulnerable group.
Yeah.
And when the amount of money will come to help at-risk youth and other vulnerable group in Jamaica. And up until now, most of it is unaccounted for. And we don't hear about calling the FBI. Now, no stone will be left unturned.
Right.
Now, no way to hide. So what's going on?
What's really going on?
You think on these things until we meet again.
Until we meet again. Thank you.
Big up.
All right. It's time for the break to 8:31. So.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is already Pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program, The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the Lord.
is coming back.
Yes, indeed, it's redemption time with Apostle Clive Campbell presenting a life-changing, life-challenging message to encourage, inspire, and motivate you towards your destiny. Every Tuesday night from 9:30 p.m. until 12:30 a.m. and on Saturday from 9 o'clock until 10, right here on Best 100 FM. It's redemption time.
I'm standing firm.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Having trouble getting parts for your Mazda? Maljam Auto Parts is your solution. Find Maljam at the new and convenient location off Upper Waltham Park Road at 9 Kingswood Avenue. Maljam Auto Parts, with over 25 years experience, providing all Mazda parts, new and used. Call 923-4389 and 461-1786. Maljam Auto Parts, serving your Mazda needs.
Bossy, how you do I take taxi start?
Chano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. Them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man. Respect my boss.
Trust me.
Ah, what a relief.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good. It's better. But nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back to the caller who's online. Thank you for holding. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection. Good morning. I can hear the line open, but I'm not hearing anyone.
Hello.
No. Interesting point that the caller closed on just now. We're talking about
Warmington?
Yeah, well, actually, the point that is still in my head is more to do with
prosecutorial powers.
No, Mr. Duncan, his expressions of optimism.
Oh.
When people speak, it's always good to remember who they are and the context in which they speak. He's the chairman of a commercial bank, and he's a banker.
Okay.
He's a banker. EPOC is the public hat. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection. Good morning. Something is happening with lines. Would you just check it out for me, please? First and foremost, I think of him in terms of his JMMB role. Investment bank, commercial bank. Nobody wants a run on their bank. You have to speak optimism and build confidence. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
How are you, my brother? Long time.
Yeah, good morning,
Well,
Pastor.
not so long
Good
time.
morning.
Yeah, not so long time.
At first, you sounded like George initially.
Okay,
You're
good
giving me a
morning,
crisp,
everybody in the
British
diaspora.
sounding good morning. And then you spoke
Yeah.
again, and it was the Apostle Paul.
Yeah, there's a thing named character, you know.
Yes.
Lamenting on the thing that the lady was talking about just a while ago. The lady
From trial?
with a little girl.
With the little girl and the...
Yeah, it's like you have your little girl. I watch TV.
You've seen it too?
Yeah, in the living room. Like she watch TV in the living room.
So it is, yeah.
You call her. And you call her. When you hear she a quarrel and you call her.
Mm-hmm.
And just say to the lady, say, the bro God, mommy. She said, I'm tired of you, bro God, I'm tired of you. So you would hear she make up knife in the living room.
Like so many of us. When we don't like what we see on TV.
And you call her and she said, you say, well, I'm tired, like Johnny's are watching it. And she said, no, bro God, mommy. I'm tired of you, mommy, tired of you. But the TV she watch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the little girl watching the TV. Okay, that's what you're saying now.
I understand now what she was, right.
Yeah, so it is a real, when you look at it, it is real.
It's a slice of life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, you have a thing named character, Miss Philip.
Yes.
You know, as a lady would I say, she see it on YouTube. And if everybody should watch 18 Degree North on YouTube and dissect it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it come like the Bible, like a man that read a verse in the Bible and you can dissect it for yourself. You can really look and see what is it. That's why the ladies are drawing away from the Prime Minister, as the ladies say.
The blue dot poll.
Well, I mean, tell me what is your read of it? Some people say, when you see the rats jumping off the ship, it tell you that too much water is in the base, not the basement, but in the hull,
in the hold
of the ship. When women leave, what is it telling you about a nation's condition, the economic of things? What does it mean?
Let me just put it in a small area.
Yes.
I call your program afternoon, don't?
Yes.
From the start that I am calling a program, I'm telling you about the Constitution need to be reformed or change or rewrite over.
That is true.
Because the Constitution is a system and
system that's the foundation covenant.
Yeah, it is like a truck that use clutch and I don't know if you can drive clutch vehicle.
Yes, I can.
So we learn to drive, yes, Paul. I was still can't drive.
All right, we can drive clutch vehicle.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So, slowly you have to lift the clutch and the vehicle start, you press it back.
Right, engage
right?
the clutch.
And until when it goes off, right? All right.
Engine engage and you can move off, yeah.
Okay, now anybody you put in there and them can drive clutch vehicle, they will drive it. It's just like the system of Jamaica now. Anyone you put in there just a vehicle, you drive it, but it needs, if nobody can, you have to give them an automatic vehicle. So anybody can drive automatic vehicle. When I said that to say this now, if you don't change the system, you never get no result because people just come in and manipulate the system. So ask them lawyer, say, if I do this or I do that, we can go to prison. The lawyer say no. And they keep doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No,
so
I call as well.
Yeah, if the system is weak or if it is too complex, if it's weak, it gets taken advantage of. If it's too complex, then the average person can't really. No, you might not take advantage of it, but it might defeat you and you can't get anything productive out of it.
Yeah. All right. I call all the while and I tell you about the system, but I don't tell you a lie.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is facts. Now, people find out know that most of what is going on, people are telling them lies. So you have a credibility problem. No. When I go say no, boy, you can do better because you do better in my area. That is not the problem. Even with the youth them right now, credibility is the problem with the leadership of this country.
The trust factor.
The trust factor. So, you can't wait. I'm going to do you know. It is late. You understand? People just need a complete change, either from one way, either from your party or a next party leader. But it is a complete change the people up there now. Because like the people find out too much. You know, as I tell you, it's a year of computer, you know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one can just go and check your CV. One can just check from your coming up politics to where you are now. And you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's that thing where, as the man said a while ago about Warmington, I know the message of Warmington I send, you know. See?
Mm-hmm.
A Warmington himself.
Yeah.
You understand?
The man is the message.
All right. So I'm going to leave it there. So, but it is a trust. The people are not trust who are leading now.
Yeah.
So that's the problem.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So, I was tempted to ask Raspal, and if he's still listening, I was going to ask him if he felt that, the misstep in the constitution of the committee is a significant thing. No, it is deliberate. But does
You think it's deliberate?
It is deliberate. You have to sit down and carefully consider who you're bringing into this thing and why.
I know it is constituted.
They've carefully selected their people and set it in a particular way. So it is deliberate. Good morning and welcome.
Yes, it's me. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Let me turn off my radio. I want to take it cool this morning.
Yes.
Yes. Let me say good morning to Pastor.
Good morning, sir. How are you, Governor? Everything all right?
No, sir. I have food and I have money, but I have seen my people around this country being suffered, especially the children then. God, they keep robbing everything. Let me see if we can pull over 2 pints to you, please. Yes, go ahead.
Go ahead, Governor.
Yeah. I am watching from my direction, and people don't know me still, but I'm evangelist from 37 Grandson Road and Wildman Street, but I'm tough. I don't work with church, I work with the Bible, and I work with the Lord. All right, so you could call me a prophet if you want to, but I don't like to say prophet. I want to say
a messenger. You're a messenger.
Yes, I'm a humble servant of God. All right. They're too long now, the government of this country getting away with the shooting by saying domestic problem. Then they had a way to get away again, number 2, with the crime in this country, that is gang relationship. Those things are crap. You know that those things are crap. Then they say that the police cannot be everywhere at the same time. But the police is everywhere at the same time for the government, the prime minister, and the opposition, and the 62 elite. One more point I want to say. If you notice, they are talking about the government, the ruling government now. There's no better with the one that want to come now, the PNP, because 6 or 1.5 does not the other. Somebody is saying yesterday morning, saying nonsense on the program when I hang up, that it's time to give Golding a chance. From the election started back there in 62 here, the first one who take over, you may know more than me, have to sit down to study these things come on the program, because I'm so a bit frightened this morning, I didn't know how to get to, so I'm a little bit tension, but I can smile. Yeah, the point I want to make right here, thank you, that the first person that win the election in this country 62 years ago, he didn't win well, so they said, let's give this one a chance. The next one a chance. And then a chance and a chance and a chance with these men for 62 years, they must go. And my point is this, that people fail to stand out, to be hung. I am ready to be hung, 62-year-old. I am ready to be shot down in the street and I'm not drunk. And it cannot happen because according to me, I deal to deal with Jesus. So I'm covered by the Holy Ghost. So my point is this, that we need a demonstration, a peaceful demonstration in this country to start it. 204. And there's too much, that's next year. Oh, thank you when I said 204. Yes, next year. And there's too much people that want to see a change and don't want to die. I want to die because everybody want to go to heaven, but they don't want to die. And I'm ready to form that demonstration. I want to tell you this, you know, I cover the whole island.
Governor. So you are saying that there needs to be a change and you're willing to be at the forefront of it. So all right. So if we have the demonstration, there must be something that we're going to replace it with. Do you have any ideas at all as to what? When we demonstrate and we say, this one no work, that no one no work, what do we put in? Because you must have government, you know.
Of course.
So what are you suggesting? Yeah.
I am suggesting that it is time now for Marcus Garvey Party to rise. Okay. But I say that I would change it. I would suggest that the name should be changed. That the name of the party that's coming up now would be named Rise Jamaica.
Rise Jamaica. Okay.
So it is time now for Marcus Garvey Word and Bob Marley. Bob Marley is singing. Their life to be shown now. They are deceased in their grave now. And I will take the forefront because I am not bursting now. There are so many guns sticking me in this country. Yeah. The last one that sticking me, it was in Kingston 2 weeks ago. Along Bay Farm Road. Yes. And there are so many things have been happened to me, and I don't feel to tell you when I was young, I have run-ins with the law, and I still get over. And let me give you my birthday when I born. I born the 10th of October 1960. Yes, and those are the time that the heroes them rise across the world.
Mm-hmm. All right, sir. So what you're saying, we need to change because it's not benefiting.
No, I hear something in your comments that is intriguing to me. You're saying don't just sit back and give somebody else a try. Fight for the thing that is really necessary to break us out of where we are, because there is something quite lazy about accepting the best of what's in front of you. It's like, well, and there's more to be done in Jamaica than just accepting the best of a bad lot. Maybe through the process of agitation, something better will come forth, because God always answers people when they really go down on the mat and cry out. Mm-hmm. We don't do that in Jamaica. We tend to take the easy or the course of least resistance. We're the ones who say, we don't want to die in the wilderness, make we go back to Egypt. we are of that kind of lazy mindset until something really shakes us. I don't really want something to really shake us, because that usually comes with a lot of blood and pain. But sounds like you are asking, as I am, what does it take to break a nation? How far you have to go before people really say, this is where you put on the sackcloth and ashes. We don't seem to get to that point.
We need to get there.
We need to get there, because that's when true repentance is gonna be pushed and pulled out of us, and true change. I understand what you're saying, my brother. We have to take it one step further, but it's the watchmen and the evangelists and those who will take to the street with the message and push people to recognize that, hey,
change must come.
The change must come, and you don't want to wait until it is a matter of, life or death for everybody. We see many dying. See a young lady go to a wedding, she's in the bridal party. You can't imagine such a happy occasion, celebrating your friend getting married, and then gunshot and bullets reaching into others could have been injured, as it is 2 persons.
And the excuse is domestic affairs.
And
there's a legal law in this country for domestic affairs.
Because
that's what patient Chang get away with. I don't know who they call Dr. Chang. He's a patient. Let me assume him sent to me. Doctor is sent to the white people.
Yeah.
He's a patient Chang. I'm not saying apology for that, no thought. So I'm trying to say to you, even though I'm a little bit tension, maybe because of I never knew how to get to you. So
well, you're here and you're speaking.
You're speaking.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So what I'm saying, Mr. Patient Chung, if you listen very soon, you send to me. I don't want nobody being me too. I know what to do to come out of that jail with Jesus. If you listen that man speak, a 2-year-old child speak better than Patient Chung, and I never hear it speak for 5 minutes. Maybe a minute and a half or two.
Yes,
he's a Patient Chung.
Yeah, unless he's... he doesn't really... He's not a seller.
So my 2 last need to catch up now. If you just say something to me about you want to say that you don't want to see a bloody into this country. But remember now that history shows that in every country of the world, every 100 years you have a bloody war.
But that don't mean that doesn't mean you desire it.
No,
it don't mean you desire it.
I agree, but I am saying to you that this minute let the truth fall where it is. Unless we have that legal bloody war in this country legal. I'm not talking illegal.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
These things not going to change. And I want to thank you for this morning. Yesterday I was so a little bit feel down when I didn't get the time with you. I was on the road and so.
All right, Governor.
Please, now I'm going to close one more thing. Please ask Dr. Devon Taylor to call me, Dr. Devon Taylor. And I want to big up Cabo. I will die for Cabo. I'll go to prison for Cabo. I'm being serious. If there's an amnesty that Cabo, that ISM, I'm going now.
All right.
Cabo, Mahak, Karu.
All right, sir.
Mahak, Karu. I want to big her up. And please, anybody listening, ask Dr. Devon Taylor to call me.
All right.
What can we say? Good morning, caller. Welcome. Good morning.
Welcome to the Morning Connection.
I think something.
All right. So, I mean...
Governor said an interesting thing. We're just thinking about what he said in terms of what will we give up in order to bring about the change? What are you willing to give up in order to bring about the change? Understand that they are part of the process. Morning, caller.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good morning again. You said you always want to ask me about the thing there, but when Governor is saying, it will just come down to change, Governor, because we have to just do it by process. Because politics run the world, So no care where you go, you have to change somebody for somebody, and if you run a church, you know that too.
Yeah, but you was talking about process. And one of the things we know is that there's no shortcut. Some things, earlier we were talking about the fullness of time, me and Percy. Just recognizing that there are some things, there's a process that a seed goes through to be transformed from a little seed to a plant, a tree that provides shade or food. And you can't, there's no cheating it. If you interrupt it, or you're not going to get what you're looking for. So Governor drew my attention when he said there are some things that you got to protest and agitate to get what you really want. So the person who had said, make Mark Golding, time for Mark Golding get a chance. Is Mark Golding the best? Is that what we really want? Shouldn't we push and push beyond even what is in front of you? It's something to think about. It don't deny process enough. Because that itself is part of a process.
That itself is a part, And, politics run the world, because you have to have a leader, you have to have somebody who runs Jamaica.
Yeah, but that comes after.
Just like that.
That comes after, Raspal, remember, that what arises from the strife and the struggle is it comes after the strife and the struggle.
You come back to the system that I'm telling you about.
Yeah, but he's saying... Don't get to the end result before you go through the struggle, because you're going to be on a cycle of you're going to be constantly revisiting the same trauma.
You know, we know that. Remember that we are preaching, you know?
Yeah.
The system, the constitution, we want.
So you're answering my question that I posed when you left. Is it fatal?
All right. You see the body that them drop up now?
Yeah.
All right. Now, them say them a deal on a phase issue. Now, me see where some other people should have had to it, you know.
Or take off some.
Like the Rasta should have a part in it. The church organization should have a part in it. And more people. But as we say, we are watching, you know, because you see, if this no work, because we the people, you know, we the people are the constitution, you know.
Yeah.
So if this no work, so the street thing will come now.
Well,
me personally, I will lead.
Yeah, I don't even see it as a this or. I think
process.
I think that they've set a committee. They must have a committee. There's no perfect committee. It could be more. It could be closer to the ideal of what people envisage, but the committee is what it is. But I don't see the committee as determining its own outcome. I don't see it, because I believe that the people need to step into the process, whether invited or not.
You remember when I spoke to you about a couple of weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
I told you that what have to happen, we have to have some town hall meeting.
Yeah, man.
That's part
and we should do that without waiting on a committee to set up something that invite us. And that's gonna happen. Yeah.
And telling these people what would have liked.
Yeah.
And what the people them would have liked. Oh, like Jamaica, the laws them what the people them want, not Jamaica.
I see that happening.
Understand?
And I know that we're a part of it. So listen, we're up on the 9 o'clock break. I'm getting the signal and there's someone else holding. So thank you for calling back with the answer. It is as I hoped and expected.
Yeah, man.
All right, cool. So we're just gonna take the break now.
You're simply the best. You're simply the best.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is the radio pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the Lord.
There's already the fact that see a committee like the one they made is
It's coming back. Yes, indeed, it's redemption time with Apostle Clive Campbell, presenting a life-changing, life-challenging message to encourage, inspire, and motivate you towards your destiny. Every Tuesday night from 9:30 p.m. until 12:30 a.m. and on Saturday from 9 o'clock until 10, right here on Best 100 FM. It's redemption time.
I'm standing firm.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash, located at 2¼ Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash, the best in the business for a cleaner wash.
Believe me, it's so easy. I want to
Yes, and the world, you want us back? We are back. The Deliverance Ministry, led by me, the prophet Mark Stewart, right here on Best 100 FM. This and every Thursday night from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Yes, it's War Room Thursday. Come on out and join us, each and every one, on Best 100 FM, 100.1, 357 and 9. Come on out. Join me, the prophet, Reverend Mark Stewart, and of course, the boss shot, Apostle Marshall. Come for your healing, breakthrough, deliverance, the prayer, the miracle, the word, the testimony, and so much more. Yes, my friends, Best 100 FM, Best 100 FM, War Room Thursday, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Join us. We are going to lick it.
I am not ready to be war. Ready to be war.
Having trouble getting parts for your Mazda? Maljam Auto Parts is your solution. Find Maljam at the new and convenient location off Upper Waltham Park Road at 9 Kingswood Avenue. Maljam Auto Parts, with over 25 years experience, providing all Mazda parts, new and used. Call 923-4389 and 461-1786. Maljam Auto Parts, serving your Mazda needs.
Apple tree, one and drive, apple tree. Bossy, how we do I take taxi start?
Chano, I want to tell you, say, a 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, wait all that time I shop around and never call the expert. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. With them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You're big star. Yeah, man. Respect my boss.
Then a pastor said,
what a relief.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100.
It's good. It's better. But nothing beats. Best.
I'm not hearing anything. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
morning.
You didn't have to hold too long.
No. I just came back from school.
Oh, blessed.
A judge. What kind of oath does a judge take to be a judge?
When you say what kind of oath, you mean what, allegiance?
Yes, allegiance.
Yeah, they are
against her or his people.
Oh no, not that kind of oath. You are sworn in, but you're not sworn in. It's not like a military oath. What's
So what about the
what's on
police?
your
So the
mind?
police take an oath against their parents?
Against their parents?
Yeah.
I'm not aware
That's
of.
what I heard.
I'm not aware of that.
That's what I heard.
So understand this about oaths of allegiance. When you take an oath, which by which you swear to serve the highest ideals, or you agree to be under the command of any system, automatically it means that if you were to make a choice between a personal objective or commitment and that of the body or the ideal that you've sworn to submit to, you would choose what you have sworn to protect, because even from a biblical perspective, your vows, your oaths are serious, and you're not to break them or to disregard them, because it would put you then in some kind of moral danger in a way that go beyond just, you and your friend having a casual chat and you just don't keep a promise. An oath or a vow is of a much higher order. So yes, if policemen swear to be bound by the command under which they fall, they're automatically saying, if my mother or my father tell me to break my bond, I am going to step away from mother and father. And that's what it means. Anywhere you make an oath to be submitted to a certain authority. Nothing unusual about that.
In the Bible, famous and your mother and your father, Miss Minute, or it's not in the Bible?
No, that is a commandment, and it is one with promise. But what vow would you...
What I'm talking about,
yes.
I know I have other people to
No,
call.
man, don't feel pressed. Speak your mind.
Why I'm bringing this up, I don't think... I talk about this already. This lady should not have anything to do with our constitution.
Well, may agree with you, and I are in agreement on that, maybe for different reasons, but I don't find her to be someone who I would feel confident that she's going to do the best in the interest of Jamaica and in my interest. What's your reason?
And if you don't have a man like, and this is not politics,
yes,
this is Jamaica I'm talking now. If you don't have a PJ Patterson in there, you're not doing anything. What do you think about that?
I don't know what you mean by, when you say a PJ Patterson, you're saying PJ Patterson is the type of person you want? Or are you saying specifically PJ Patterson? They have Lloyd Barnett.
To be in that group of people.
Yeah, but what are you looking for out of Mr. Patterson? I don't agree that it would need Mr. Patterson, though he's alive and possibly well and would be up to it, but I don't think that it has to be him.
No, well, somebody like him then, because
but there are many like him. There are others like him there. I mean, Dr. Lloyd Barnett, though, I wonder how vigorous the quality service he can give, because he's not a young man.
Lloyd Barnett, Miss Minute.
I don't know precisely.
70s or late 70s or the 80s.
In the 80s zone. He must be in the 80s.
He was born in the 80s. I'm talking somebody that is coming from where that big old bad racism was when you were in the white school and all kind of stuff, that still have that memory to fix things for Jamaican people.
But Cruz, dealing with our constitution is not a matter of understanding racism, The constitution...
Not only that, I'm not talking... That was one of the main things that set us back until today.
Well, if you're going to say slavery, sure.
Yes.
But that would have an impact in terms of, I think you're saying, how the laws are written and understanding the antecedents and so on. So, I agree with you.
So... And the other thing, do you think this country is cursed?
Cursed?
Yeah.
That's
in the overall, no.
No, it's not.
No, it is not.
It is what the people do that cause the land to be cursed.
There are some behaviors that have consequences that we must break and evade, step away from. But cursed as in, forever lost, no.
That was never in God's mind when he set the world in order. It was a blessed place when he created it.
Yes, it was blessed when they what they call these Tino people again, call a name for me.
Oh, the Tinos?
Tinos, yeah.
It seems like it was a good place when they were here until those guys came.
But Cruz, I am saying, let me start at the beginning. I'm just simply saying to you that when our Father created, he said it was good and very good when he created us. So that is how he started it. Now, if we step away from how he has indicated us, how we must do it, That's how you bring curse. And then what further brings curse on a land, is when you have innocent blood that is shed. And we have had too much innocent blood, whether it was through slavery, through the murder and the violence that is happening. But we can change that if we move and have a different mindset and attitudes. Because we, and we curse the land, because it was given to us as good, and our action caused it to be cursed. Same like Cain and Abel.
You're wrong on your speech there. You must say them, not we. Coming including a we are talking about.
All right, all right. All right, Cruz. All right, Cruz. It's all right.
Have a nice day. Have a nice day.
Well, boy, Pastor, this morning we're on you with the we and the hour. And
Good morning, caller. Thank you for holding.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Don't know what.
Good morning.
No, he says the call went. But he raised a very important point.
Which one? The likes of PJ Patterson or?
No.
Good morning and welcome.
Morning, love and bless. Well,
good morning, Africa.
Good
How
morning,
are you?
Africa.
One person time I give thanks for it, It is good to be here,
Yes.
What is the good news?
You give us. That the good news is the gospel of Christ.
Gospel.
What's your good news this morning?
I'm going to go on someone.
Hey, African.
Reverend.
Yes, African. What's up?
You know, I'm a good news for this morning.
But African, I started with the good news. I went to Psalms 37, and I said that we must not worry because of evildoers. That is the good news. When we see the evil happening round about us, no, because there's a time coming when they'll be destroyed. That is the good news, and they'll come to naught.
But we have to put the effort.
But I agree. That's what you were saying this morning. Coming like you didn't listen to us, African. In terms of how we deal with it.
The Father looks for push certain effort,
That's true.
Yeah.
And don't want to left it to the unmanageable people,
someone who called not so long ago was even saying that let's not be lazy in just picking the best stuff, take the path of least resistance. He's saying let's push even harder than that and be prepared to lay something precious on the line so we can get exactly, or we can get what we desire. Don't just settle. He was referring to someone else who had called yesterday and said, boy, it's time to give Mark Golding a chance. Let him take a shot at it. He was saying, if Mark Golding is not it, don't stop at Mark Golding. Keep pushing and really get out of the situation, whatever it is that is right for Jamaica. How you feel about that?
As we talk about Mark Golding.
Yes.
The finance minister.
Mm-hmm.
The EU people, them is what, Miss Minetti?
European Union?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the IMF.
Mm-hmm.
I think him should look over this so good before him looking at the parliament there,
This is the finance minister you're speaking of now.
Yes, Miss Minister.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. More danger coming from them for black people than from Mark Golding.
Yeah, man, him to look on where you can't just say.
Well,
look on where you do.
Today, they're back in Parliament today, and one person has made the point that they think today he will withdraw that comment. For what it's worth.
To withdraw it or not, Miss Minetti. Him have the IMF people them where you have to go to. Him have to go to them for money.
Mm-hmm.
And the EU will give grant with favor. Him have them people have to go to every time,
Or give a grant with strings attached.
When them people hear him down here and make those racist comment against Mark Golding, how you think them feel, Miss Minetti?
Interesting. Because them strong on them things, Interesting.
Yeah. But then again, I won't say what crossed my mind because sometimes you speak a thing and it's more harmful than beneficial.
Yeah.
Because,
let
yes.
me speak, Miss Minette.
Yes, you speak it.
This world is one place, Miss Minette.
Yes.
It's one world we live in, Miss Minette.
Yeah.
And if we are going to deal with a condition about people and racism, we shouldn't be in that. We shouldn't be in that. All we need a reparation in a Miss Minette and give back a wall and an hour something. We don't need to kill off nobody,
Certainly not our own.
Racism causes death and destruction in a Miss Minette.
Yes, sir.
If we're talking at the parliament, the people outside should take on that, Miss Minette. What do you think would happen?
And that's why we shoot it down from early.
So no, we're stop it.
We gotta pull that to the ground from early.
The people in the parliament will know what they are doing, Miss Minette.
Yes, sir.
Be conscious because people are listening to you. Every word on the chop in there we hear.
And the people are, remember you always speak about dog whistling?
Yeah.
Yes, we have to be careful, yes. Be careful. You have a good point there, African. We have to be careful.
Yes, love and bless.
Yeah.
We're living in a time now where it's very serious. I don't know how them are checking up. We have some mining I do in Jamaica, A lot of mining, and I don't hear it talk about in the parliament, Miss Minette.
Well, right now, and parliament like to put those issues on the back burner when it's before the court, and especially because the majority shareholder in the company whose activities are the subject of an injunction and court challenge is the Jamaica government. So the mining activities that are being objected to are being litigated, yes. And it's our own government that is the main shareholder. So you're not going to hear them talk about it in Parliament.
Although
the opposition could really make sure that it is not, pushed under the carpet, so to speak.
So if our government not defend we with the mining. If you're not defend with the
government to do the mining.
Yes, so I am not.
Yes.
So you're not defend we.
They can't defend them. Yeah.
We say no mining.
Yeah.
And them still are mine.
Yep.
So them not defend we, Miss Minette.
Well, there's an injunction right now.
But they can't
they can't mine. They're complaining that if they're not allowed to, they're gonna die. The company is going to die. So we can.
Which company that, Miss Minette? The Russian company?
No, this one. There's Noranda.
Noranda. Yeah.
You have a Russian company down here.
Yeah, but that company is against the ropes.
Yeah,
the Russian one.
They weren't named down here.
Yeah, because
yeah, so they
Miss Minette, I want to go on and the people are going to talk,
That's
the we talking,
Well, you are
Miss Minette.
Yeah, you see, whoever takes the reign of the country's affairs next has to come to the country with a planned withdrawal of certain activities that are more harmful now than they are beneficial. There was a time when the bauxite money was a rich inflow into the economy. Not so now. Now you have to be looking at the stress on the environment and on people's lives and health versus what it is really giving and other ways in which we can make up that gap. Yesterday we were talking about the government's submissions in court that they would lose $6 billion if the mining didn't proceed. But that $6 billion is a fraction of what we lose to corruption. We could hold back on the corruption and close that gap so that at least the activities that are causing a problem in the nation could be brought to an end comfortably.
Right.
I don't want to get past that something I said a while ago.
Yeah, which one? The corruption?
The plan.
Yes.
You don't think we should have seen those plans?
Of course.
Before the election?
But now it's two things that you're looking for, Anybody looking to take power should be talking to the people now about the things that are of importance to us. And so, yes, right now, the PNP and the UIC and anyone else who wants to set themselves in contention for power should be saying, here's what I will do.
The plan.
Give me these are my plans for constitutional reform, whatever environmental issues need to be addressed.
Food security.
And the government itself should be saying, I hear you, and this is how I would answer you on these important subjects. Yes, we should see them. The next campaign for power, for general elections should be very different from what we've been accustomed to.
Right.
How could we get these plans from these people, Ms. Minette?
Call for it.
We have to call for it now.
Don't come talk to without it. So we have put on the table.
Absolutely. When they come out to talk to us, ask them the questions.
How we're going to do
all right, love and bless. We have more to say, but never leave with this. We want the plan. We want to hear the plan, them, yeah?
Yes. All right.
And one more thing.
Yes.
The UIC and the PPP, now, them come jointly, them come together now, yeah?
Okay. All right. Okay, they merge. All right. Good.
Perfect, love and bless.
Okay.
Good morning, caller. Morning, caller. Thank you for holding.
Good morning, Pastor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And, good morning, Ms. Lawrence and Sir Lawrence. Good morning. And to the listening public brothers and sisters, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, man. That is the finance minister. That statement he made, was done deliberately, to sow a political slogan.
Yes.
But this is not something that was not off of the cuff. So it is sink already in the minds of those who are supporting the party. And I'm sure you're going to hear a lot of massa coming and going forward. And it saddened me away, that this young man did this. When I look at his career, I noticed that he served Muffin very well. Built them into an international company. And who was his boss? Desmond Blade. Just like Mr. Mark.
It's true, Desmond Blade was like Mr. Mark. Yes, he was.
And that person, he faced the commodity, so to speak. So for these people diligently, and he had some stunts, as my previous caller indicated. He was also in the belly of the IMF. As some expert, So this man has been benefiting from the massa. This is the masses in this country. In his career into political
true. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, man, it was the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but that sounds like he knows of it. That gives it a different meaning.
Yeah, that's why I tell you that the statement made was not something that thought. It was a political slogan.
Yes, yeah.
Forward. That is the only purpose. Not even, he doesn't believe what he said is a political slogan put on the ground to be used going forward.
You think it will catch?
Said yesterday.
You think it will catch?
Apology. Sorry?
Do you think it will survive?
Yeah, man. I mean, amount of GLP is going to be the clarion call. Going forward, he knows that. So an apology today is irrelevant.
Yeah.
And remember, Muffin, was founded in 1820, in the heart of slavery. So they talk about serving real master. He did that. In his career and that. Got prominence in that. So it's unfortunate that he did that, but we know why.
Yes.
Yes, and the Constitutional Committee. A lot of criticism, and I support a lot. That's some that you have said. And, you look at first of all, you should not have a committee like that. You don't have all political parties involved in the spectrum, part of that discussion.
Yeah.
So, I don't say UIC, now a PPP. These people are registered political parties should have been there, or at least, nominated in the first 14. And if you look at the committee again, you see, people with an experience in governance, from an academic perspective, building good governance structures, who have studied this at a high level, maybe from the university or from...
Yes.
Yes, nobody to guide that process. And then I look at the levels now, this is where I get a little concerned. I see a thing I will refer to as a crawling pet coup in the making. If you look at the processes that have been going on for the last 2 years, the army seems to be placed in very strategic areas.
Yes.
Ex-army leaders. And I think this deputy chairman is tasked to ensure an outcome. And let me tell you what the outcome I think is. My thought, you have 3 levels to the constitutional process identified. First level is to determine if you should have a president or not. The second one is to deal with human rights, what we call general human rights. And the third one is to look at the legal framework in which a constitutional change can take place and implications for institutional changes and so on. Quite tricky. And that work must be done before the next election. 2 years' time, maybe less.
Yes.
So I don't see us getting through the 3 levels by that time. So the first level, I think, is what they are shooting at.
Clearly, phase 1 is what you're trying to,
to ensure that the present prime minister becomes the first president of Jamaica, whether we like it or not. There will be no election on that. That will be a parliamentary action. He has a 2/3 majority to do it. You see? So what we have is a kind of coup in which these people are lead up country in the transformation process that is not consistent with democracy.
Well, I think they should brace themselves for some surprises. I intuit the same. I have a similar analysis as yours, just by how the phases, how they structure it, because the determination of what kind of Republican state you want coming in the first phase, when you have not yet looked at human rights, you have not yet looked at the capacity to embrace the change. You could flip it around and look at the capacity issues first and make sure that you have a framework in place. Then your next step really ought to be your human rights issue, because your human rights is where the people actually become center stage for the discussion, and even the question of what kind of constitution is a human rights issue, because self-determination is at the heart of protecting human rights. Self-determination. What they're seeking to do with the 11-man committee is to have 11 people determine what should be for the 3 million of us. It will never happen. Never happen.
I look at the parliamentary status and say he has the power to move us into a dictatorial situation and a democratic choice of a new president. And we might even say, well, it have been Barbados.
Yeah, but can you hold for
please,
some
we'll
good points?
take the 9:30 break and come back.
Yes.
We have a...
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is your pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program, The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the Lord.
Best 100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up show, Lascelles Butch Chen, on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing work in our maturing years. Compellingly define, educate, and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-5072 or 876-883-5328. That is 876-276-5072 or 876-883-5328.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
Oh. It's the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical system. Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you with your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
You're sampling.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good. It's better, but nothing beats. Yes.
Good morning, caller. Thank you for holding.
Yeah, may I just say one thing before you continue? Earlier, I want to just clarify for those who are listening that for Prime Minister Holness to be first president under the current construct, we don't have a new constitution, but we are seeking to change some of the entrenched positions so we could attain Republican status. He would still need a 2/3 special majority, which he doesn't have.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because you whatever is left of the opposition, he would still need to get their support in order to complete that process. So he may well have the ambition to be the first president or whatever.
The 47 doesn't put him below the 2/3.
No, it's not a simple majority.
But the number of seats, what percentage?
A special majority would require him to get 2/3 from whatever is there of the opposition. He would need to get what was it, like 1 vote or 2 votes from the Senate, and there's
one more from the Senate and then the seats.
Okay.
So it's not a simple majority because then the opposition would just stay at home.
Okay. However, he could do a referendum, couldn't he?
Yes, but then that involves coming to the people.
And him don't want to go to the people now.
And even to do a referendum, you need to address the capacity issue, the structural capacity issue before you do a referendum. You see where they talk about the infrastructure for putting through the change and the process? I don't know how you're going to build a house without measuring up the land and seeing how much material you need and whether or not it is even, what is the design. I don't know how you get into settling some of those issues without addressing the capacity issue. But you see, if they look at capacity, they have to deal with the people. And because right now, nobody's not sure exactly where you're going to get from the people. That is being left for last.
Quickly, just to show you how this thing can really derogate into something harmful when you have this kind of transformation. In Barbados, for example, where I too were extolling the lady,
Yes.
And the move. But no, as you look at her management processes and you realize that it is a kind of change that gave her
dictatorial power. Yes, and there were 1 or 2 Barbadians saying it.
Which is what has happened.
You hear this? Recently, she fired the head of the central bank, to bring in a transformation, a new system in terms of a new dollar, which our government has signed on to call the carrot dollar.
Yes.
Yes, and it is underpinned by I think a Swedish company, but it's a European company. But she make all of the transformation at home, and she's pushing it through. I'm not saying, we have to be very careful to agree with you. To deal with the framework first, the political, the legal and political
capacity, right? Yeah, which will cover.
Right. Yes, we could provide the constrictions and the band in which you can play, and then we move to the human rights.
Yeah, but you see, nobody wants to address something that might give an unpredictable result.
Okay.
That is always going to be the issue. How can I mandate the outcome? And this one now is going to leave them to really have to deal with whatever the people say.
So finally, since you're agreeing that the committee as constituted is inadequate and to me, not capable of doing of forwarding the real constitutional change, in my view, and I think many other people. So we have to deal with either a revamping of the present situation and go back to include some of the changes we suggest. So we run a parallel process.
I mean that
of constitutional discussion and reform.
So what you're saying is that you're doing that, but you're doing the grassroots together.
Yes, if the government does not respond to revamp the present structure.
Okay, that's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Give them maybe a month to consider, and then these parties that are excluded could be the spears.
Oh, to take it on the road.
Of a public discussion, yes.
Yeah, okay.
And I think the PNP should, in that situation, remove itself from the committee. Well, yeah.
No, they can stay and participate in what the people orchestrate. Everybody should be very interested in what the people do.
Maybe I'm just saying that we should just turn it back fully on them, and because we need this constitutional change, but we need it to be purposeful.
Yes. Yeah.
That's true.
All right. So, thank you so much.
But all the best. A wonderful day.
You too.
They have last year introduced this Ministry of Constitutional Reform, but I think it was a knee-jerk reaction to what was the groundswell in terms of people saying we have to do better. And they probably knew what was happening on the ground in terms of the shifting of support, because I know these political parties run polls from time to time, and they are doing the soundings on the ground. But to think that they can say, okay, 11 persons will determine what this constitution is about without really going out their grassroots and hearing what the people are saying is a fatal mistake that both sides are making. Because
some might say that the committee is just meant to guide the process, but
guide the process how? That's a question.
Yeah. Good morning and welcome.
Morning again, love and bless.
Good morning, African.
This constitution reform.
Yes.
You remember in 1962? We don't want that kind of something there again,
Agreed. Yeah, man. I think something of us has a really different order is what is approaching, and we have to approach it with similar care and be as inclusive as we can, so that all the voices that need to be heard can be heard. That's what democracy is about. We're now mature in years as a nation, 60. So we should be able to do a more inclusive job than we did 60 years ago, and even than we did 20 years ago when the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedom was under discussion.
Miss Minette, yesterday we all missed them a draft it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Miss Minette, them not nasty of them, Miss Minette. Not nasty of them, so them can go on here.
Okay.
Love and bless it, good to be here, yeah?
All right, my brother.
All right. Mr. Producer, join us in the closing. Are we closing the lines? Or are we taking another call? All right. This business of how the committee is set up and what it says about, the likely procedure or the process. I know that, as my friend Gordon Robinson wrote, that the Minister Malahoo Fort likes to say that it's high-level work. And as he said, it suggests that the level of work is so high that you can't give
it to low-level people.
I didn't want to say it.
No, but that must be the only thing that we are saying. That
Yes,
we can't give it to low-level people.
Some of the people who we want be interested in are low-level people. So it's high-level work. She keeps saying it's high-level work. So we've got a committee of a certain type. The caller who mentioned the possibility of military. When you look at, if you study African nations and if you look at the transition of power, you'll always see that military power is a necessary advantage.
Right.
To maintain political power or to seize political power. You can have all your good ideas and certain people love you and so on. If you don't have the guns and the might to back up your move for power, you're dead in the water. Some people start as guerrillas living out in the hills. I mean, Fidel Castro is a prime example, and we saw it all through the Latin and Central Americas. The type of activity that takes place in the jungle, where the freedom fighters hang out and teach each other the philosophies.
Mercenaries.
Now, as Lowell just laughingly said, now you have guns for hire. And we see the kind of weaponry that is building up. Just that demonstration at the BNS ATM incident is enough to tell you that there's training, their military tactics are being deployed, and a lot of power is building up. Power and expertise is building up outside the hands of the state.
That's not a good sign.
So, no, it is and it isn't. Because when you see the power of the state being organized in such a way as to present itself as a real threat to the freedoms of the citizen, a citizen who only know how to manage a machete for weeding grass, not to do anything else, and a fork and a hoe, is powerless against the might of policemen bearing down on you in their full gear, or soldiers occupying your community because they hear that a certain somebody like to meet on Saturday night and have and teach the people certain things, whether it is under the guise of prayer meeting or community meeting, whatever you might call it. Suddenly you find that your community is always under
watch.
Yes, under watch. And they have used our current administration, they have used the state of emergency so effectively to overwhelm communities. Every parish has there been a parish in this island that has not been under state of emergency?
Yes, Portland.
It's interesting.
Portland has not had a state of emergency in there?
Not to my mind.
You sure?
Yeah, I think
we should check.
Yeah.
All right. So all roads lead to Portland. But freedom fighters have to occupy the hills of Portland.
Hello.
No, because because when the police and the soldiers are in a boat and you get accustomed to seeing them occupying your communities, it kind of desensitizes you to the invasion of rights that is invariably involved. You get accustomed to being told to open up your bag and to search your car, and they kind of, it's almost like they're priming you to just be ready and to accept You no
Anything.
longer feel invaded when you're walking along the street and the policeman said spot check and want to search everybody bag and want to treat people a certain way. They've done that with us. They've got us kind of to that point. And now that we're talking constitutional reform, you're finding that the committee that is set to lead the process is being chaired by an ex-highest serving officer of the military who's been given a very fearsome title, ambassador plenipotentiary, who can go all over the world and organize resources to come to Jamaica as a support for whatever crazy. Now that you get what I'm saying. Jamaicans, we need to think through this and come to an understanding. Is this what we mean when we say we want self-determination? Your own constitution, unhitching yourself from the crown, those are all moves towards self-determination.
Is that just itching yourself from the crown?
Unhitching.
On itching yourself from the crown, it is doing stuff that really allows for people to be able to make decisions that's gonna guide them and guide them in terms of self-determination. So we'll give up one backroom master for another one.
And this one have gun instead of whip.
Right.
Gun hurt more than whip.
It's very interesting for me how, our inability to guard our ports and all the various points of entry as it relates to guns and all the various things that are coming into the country. And here it is, we're doing state of emergency within the country itself, which that certainly don't help the problem. Fact is, we must find a way to stop it from coming. When you look at the kind of firepower that these guys had, the ones who attacked the ATM thing.
I call it display.
Man, that's frightening. That's frightening. Not even the arm of the police. They are the ones we expect to have that kind of fight. Not gunmen. And then it appears as if they have gotten away with it.
Well, the commissioner did an interview and said they have someone in custody I mean, it was a very interesting interview because they seem to have made way more headway with that $23 million heist than they did with the multi-billion-dollar drug bust and the other things.
Hello. We and it just speaks to the fact that in terms of what real priorities are in regards to that. So we can't protect ourselves from that. Oh boy. Help us, Father. That's all I say. Help us.
No, man, don't give up. Finish the statement. Come on.
Help us. Help us.
Come
help
on.
us. Help us.
It is about focus and response because we know terrible things happen in some of our communities. And you'll hear the Prime Minister saying to people who want protection that we don't have enough policemen to give you the kind of protection that you need. And many communities have the same problem. But you see a bank lose $23 million and by the next day, the police and the soldiers are guarding the ATM machine like it is precious cargo. So you don't have to guess where the priorities lie in terms of what gets the protection that it needs in the time that it needs it is not the people of Jamaica. Is that where you were going, Percy?
Yeah.
Not the people of Jamaica.
Ross Paul said something earlier, and I don't know how many people catch it. The trust deficit. It's a real thing,
It's the biggest thing that
people don't trust the powers that be. You're not gonna get them to come on board with anything that you're doing. And the truth is, we need the help of the communities in order to stem this crime that we are having. Here it is, you put together a committee to deal with the rights of the people, and the people are not involved. The people are not involved. Where do you expect to go with that? And then the amount of different sections of it that you have to go through.
The phases
before you get anywhere. Who are you trying to fool with all of that stupidness? Come on, it's going to take you years. As a matter of fact, you come out of office and go about your business and they are still going through all of the phases.
Because my point,
what is that?
My point has been, there are some things that you can do and do it now to begin to build support. And seem like when they're doing stuff and they have these town hall meetings and so on. They can't do town hall meetings right now. It can be done online.
Of course.
You can do it, but is there a will to get it done because you really want the input of the
but
people?
we don't want them to do it just for the sake of it.
No, I understand.
It must
but
be meaningful.
That's what I'm in agreement. I don't do things for the sake of doing it. I do things because I'm really
so we
looking
vote for Percy. Percy for office.
All right. That is a good note on which to wrap up the morning's discussion, but plenty more left to be done on this issue, especially because the Morning Connection is going to be a real busybody in this area. It's a pet area of mine. When I came to this program, it's one of the things that drew me to the program. The necessity for us to revisit those arrangements, but to do so in an inclusive way, because my personal experience was that my constitution, my government did not stand for me. In fact, my government victimized me at the say-so of others.
And they continue to.
And it continues to be so. So I have a personal stake. One of the things that I make a commitment is that the thing that harassed me is not going to harass my son.
Okay.
So I have an interest in seeing it done in my lifetime. So anything me can do, it will be done. So with that commitment and seeing that we've been pushing and pushing to the part where, hey, did you believe that we would see this happening within a year of our pounding on the door? More going to happen in the next 6 months.
It's going to be accelerated. Can a nation be born in a day? Yes.
Yes, it can.
That's a prophetic word.
Absolutely. And this morning we were talking about the way that miraculously the processes that we have to wait and watch time run in its linear fashion, those processes can be miraculously and divinely interrupted, sped up, delayed, shut down. Hey.
Because it's in God's will for it to happen.
It is in God's will for it to happen in accordance with His way. So enough said on that subject.
And we all touch and agree on it.
We touch and agree on it.
Touch and agree. Two or more.
Agreement. Two or more. All right. So may I thank those who have participated. I'm yet to find out who really is the Peanut Dread.
He was in Parliament.
Oh, in a costume?
No, it's not dreadlocks. He have a social media page.
Oh, Radam. Peanut Dread. Earl Brown said, Peanut Dread, the Radam man. Is he going to be a part of the Republic discussion? Sure, if he's a citizen. He'd have to show his citizenship. And then we take it forward. But thank you all for participating. We're stepping up the game quite a bit. I'm pleased to see many, many Jamaicans joining the discussion and having very constructive opinions on it, because hey, it's our business, so we must know what is right for us.
And jump start. First race run already.
Oh really? What's the result? All right. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you, engineer, producer. Morning Connection signing out.